assumption number one, a vertical is a straight line.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Makes the same assumption. A vertical
And
is a
I have enough confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance, show you confident or not. Don't get caught in the matrix of all of these fakers. Society spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, you can do fuck all with an angle, and the fools are running away.
And we are live. Welcome, everyone. 1,000 shows. 1,000 videos, sorry. 4 years. Wondering what the fuck we were doing at the beginning. All changes today. So, welcome. This is Try Thinking on the Level Discord. It's about time we come clean. And well, didn't really know what I was doing 1,000 videos away. I was just
good afternoon.
Hey Rob, I was just starting making videos, knowing that something needed documenting. Just crazy people. So I think we go over a few of the earlier videos just to let people know exactly why I came in here at the beginning. Exactly what we've been doing. This is see, most of the stuff that we did, it was for my son, and the Logos showed us the way. Some of the earlier videos and stuff, but most of the arguments and everything have all came around because there's a group of people here at this Discord server that I don't know, special group of people. I mean, I wouldn't have been here if it hadn't have been for everybody else, and we've turned into I don't know, I think a bit of a force to be reckoned with within this fucking ridiculous arena that we know we're all in. people that can't let a fucking model get gone. So, we're done with it. I've had enough. I've learnt my lessons. I came into an arena wondering exactly what was going on. And I think I've found out. I think it's a load of bullshit. There's only one reality. There's a group of people that don't want to talk about it, though. They'd rather talk about models and things that aren't that. They're not that. Well, we don't. We are going to talk about that. And we've got some fantastic stuff, really. I mean, I think we haven't... Because what I've been doing over the last 4 years, we've not really promoted ourselves because that hasn't been the idea. The idea has been to learn, to work out what's going on, and to grow up as well. Came into this as I don't know, inexperienced youth, let's say, within a ridiculous arena of modern day social activities. With questions, obviously, everybody has these questions because certain things just don't get addressed. As you're growing up, you get taught to not address things. Look the opposite way. Well, it's time. I think we've all been on this journey where you face up to, call them your own demons or whatever. Because everybody has to go on this journey on their own. And there's a group of people who are obsessed with us. And really all we do is talk about reality. Simple logic. And I don't know, there's going to be a lot of people that we're following, that we're waiting for something, I don't know, some sort of a flat earth hero savior. Well, that's not going to come. It doesn't happen. There is only reality. So it's time to just grow up and start communicating about reality. So it all changes today for me. All of this, whatever we've been doing in the past, that was learning. And I think 1,000 videos was a thing I set myself. It's been over 4 years that we've been doing this with the videos. So 1,000 videos today. Today we start actually doing what we want to do. The learning's finished. We've learnt. We're progressing on into, I don't know, quadrivium. But keeping back and keeping learning the trivium. You know, I had to go into hospital today and I read a book. I read The Entire Abolition of Man. It's amazing. You know, Logos hands you certain things. Forgot about
I was going to say, what did you think? And that's something I'd love to go through.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's amazing. It goes along with the logician's copy pasta. Yeah, I think I've got a couple of bits that I thought I needed to go over, but I don't know whether they'd actually mean anything. But if you say I was waiting 2 hours, which, I mean, that's not a lot, is it? So do you reckon we could go over those sort of things? I'd love to do a reading of that sort of stuff. I don't know whether anybody would want me to listen to.
I would, because I love your accent. But yeah, 2 hours is not very long at all to go through an entire book. I mean, even if we covered it, we could probably cover it in a couple of nights.
Yeah, Yeah, I'd love to go over that. That it is the abolition of man. It's what it literally. That's where we are. It's so relevant at this sort of time. These sort of things. He spotted it in the 50s, 60s.
Yep.
So
Yep. Same time as Dorothy Sayers with
yeah,
the lost tools of learning. I mean, it's all right there when eyes really started to being open to what technology is doing, what what societies are doing to themselves, what people have lost. Yeah, all same time.
so for those people who think we've been, I don't know, like if you've listened to us in the past and you've listened to other people talking about us, well, that was us learning. If you ever came into the Discord to come and have a chat with us, that's the real us. Not many people actually do that. So not many people actually know what we are about because they listen to other people talking about us and the narrative that's been pushed with other people. Well, let's say we've been learning. That is changing today. I can't be bothered dealing with people who want to fantasize over not that models and people that want to try to be sophists to confuse people. You might find that other people out there, they are easily fooled. But if you really want to get a grip on it, then you've got to come into the Discord. I'm going to try and let people know what I've learned and how we all deal with this. It's deceit, really. But I think we've learned that the only way to spot this is through honest conversation. You can't be doing it through text chat, and so the only way to actually do it is to communicate, and that's what we're going to be hopefully doing, and hopefully it'll breed more communication. Who knows? That starts today, definitely. I don't want to hear any more about flat earth bullshit, although we probably are going to hear it because the flat earthers are making videos about us still. So obviously there's quite a lot to do with the flat earthers and the reason we split up with the let's say the hardcore flat earthers, the public flat earthers, because everybody has a different idea of what a flat earth is. Just I bet there's about as many different flat earthers as there are globes. Everyone's an individual, so let's start dealing with the individuals rather than the names and the bigotry. It's not needed. We're going to stop it. We have stopped it within here. We're going to have a sort of thing as well that just attempt to not mention any of these trigger words, trigger conversations. Keep out of the taught, dogmatic arguments that obviously lead into those narrated arguments. Yes, please. I'll have a brew. Oh, I said that. So yeah, obviously everybody knows. Everybody's been in a Discord, they knew this time was coming. So the channel changes from here on in. Really, you won't hear any more of that baiting in of people into conversations that go nowhere. There's just no point.
Back to philosophy then.
Oh, we're going to definitely do the philosophy. Like, I mean, I do have somebody wants for me to actually have a debate. So that's on the cards. Actual proper debates.
With an actual argument?
Well, I will have arguments, yeah.
Well, of course you will.
Wait to see what happens from the other side, right? Depends who we when you hear who. So we'll go over it,
Are you
right?
going to tell us who?
I will. I'll tell you in a bit, but we have to go over why I'm here, right? Go over the beginnings. Let me get the we get some sharing my screen for you guys. What's that screen look like? Just a minute. My
YouTube
screens
channel.
keep messing up.
I see a screen.
Yeah. Right. So that's my YouTube. Wait a minute.
Congratulations on the 1,000, by the way, Bev. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Let me. So this is my first videos. Click the date. Take it all the way back to the beginning. First videos. So we're going to go through the first videos that we did, the ones that I put up on the video first. I don't know. See how many people have actually seen these. There's not 188 views. This one.
I bet you I've seen it.
I was also going to say though, Bev. Remember, we just changed over from my channel to your channel.
Yeah, I think we did. We had done some on your channel, hadn't we? Like a few live or whatever.
We did, yeah. We did all the live streams on mine for a while.
Well, this was like the first video we ever did, and because this is the first intro that we did. When we first got the camera for me lad, it was his, I don't know, was it his birthday? It must have been about this sort of time. I think it was, yeah. It was coming up to his birthday, so about this sort of time, 4 years ago, we went, bought him the P1000 and then went to Bedford to go and take some pictures. And then once we got that footage at Bedford, we decided we were going to need a picture. So we went to go and take this the TT thing that we did at the beach. But as we were there, I think you can see in the background there's like a weird band in the background. So this is what we got. I don't know. I don't even think there's any sound on it. No, there isn't. Right, so we've gone to gone to the, is that, I need to move that up a bit, don't I? Right, so there you go. So we've gone to go and take these the footage just to go and try and get a TT silhouetted, and this is literally what we see the first time we go there. Look at it. Obviously first time out with the camera as well, focus issues.
You need to learn how to use the camera.
I know, this was us learning how to use the camera.
I know.
But look at it, that's the windmills that are on the way to the Isle of Man from the beach at Southport. You know, the beach that we go to all the time. So as we're filming it, we're thinking, wow, look at that. The sun's coming down. we get a chance to see the sun go into this. Look at it. Can you imagine doing that? You get a P1000. You go out and you see that and you think, is that what P1000s do?
Yeah, was it an effect of the extreme zooming that caused this? What was it?
Like,
That's amazing.
Why is nobody else mentioned this sort of thing? But look at it, it's a complete turning upside down of it. Left of the sun seems unaffected. Look at that. Doing science is a phenomena, right? Natural phenomena.
Yep.
True science. Look at that perspective as well on the windmills. So who's seen it? Who's seen something like this, right? You see a lot of boats and stuff, but this footage has been there all the time. I call
There's
that,
horizontal.
yeah, it's a Fata Morgana, right? This is parallel horizontals. It's a natural phenomena that's only available with parallel horizontals. You can't have it any other way. It just wouldn't happen. Not possible. It's mirroring about the center of that band. And inverting it at the top. It's got windmills upside down. It's a pity we didn't get the Isle of Man in it, you know. Because I bet it's out there somewhere. And it'd be good to see what actually... That was my first ever video. That was video number 1. There's video number 2. Still no beginning. No Buster. No music. No nothing. Didn't know what I was doing. Flat Earth. Check it out. It was looking for the sunspot. So it's back in the day. Oh. Tell him, I said, like, go on, get set up. It's squashing. Look at it. We noticed this band above the horizon. Sort of like parallel with the horizon. There's the horizon. Fata Morgana. This is the best Fata Morgana I think we've got so far. Although we have seen the band a lot higher. Optical phenomena, look at that, way back in the day. So what's this? Horizon. No camera tricks. No filters, no nothing.
That's amazing.
On a trip out to go and get that TT shot, you know, like seeing that and being in that position with that P1000, because no one else could see it. You can see the birds flying past on it as well.
Mushroom cloud, it looks like.
Yeah. Look how bright it is as well on the, you know, that. Underneath. Yeah, so I mean, like, we literally thought that this was something that you saw all the time. P1000. It's like fantastic cameras. See what you can do with them. But as this was going on, right, I was texting Ranty, or, you know, on Twitter, telling him to get out. Get out on the beach, mate. Got a camera, get out and have a look at the sunset. See what you can get. I didn't know who else to, you know, to call or anything, because thought that, you know, there was an arena with loads of people who got cameras out and, you know, where everybody gets together. If you let Ranty know, Ranty will let everybody else know, and everyone can get it. He didn't get any of the messages or anything, so. But we've done this many times. Got better filters now as well. Just being in the right place at the right time, the right camera, the right situation. That was us. "7-minute sunset." Where the sun both goes down and up in the same picture. Reposition the camera. Remember, these are the first 2 videos we ever brought to YouTube. On this channel. It's not Mario Kart, is it? You can see that the light does strange things to the water as well. It looks like there's a big dip in the middle of it. Keeps freezing. I don't know why it does that. Look at that sun going up. There you go. And this one now. This is the real reason I think we are still here. Oh, this is particularly after we've just done that. Remember, we've been to Bedford. We've got a well, I'll show you that one.
Are we gonna give a fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, did you hear what I said?
The tweet started off live because of Fight the Flat Earth. Fight the Flat Earth made this tweet come about. Right, so this is my third video. First time I ever spoke. First time I ever made a video. Made well, I didn't script anything. First time I ever spoke. So this is the real reason I'm making videos. For this reason. And as you'll hear me say, it's really weird listening to it, but I'm going to be making a fair few videos about this. There'll be quite a few more to come. But the origins of the... Right, so it says here, it says this video explains the origins of a tweet that I will use to have some fun with the people who think level must bend. August 6, 2019. 130 views. This tweet came because Fight the Flat Earth came onto our little tweet group and decided he was going to sort of inject himself in. I will be debating you tonight. Are you going to ignore me? You are a bully and a coward. If you speak to your kids about this, then you're also a child abuser. Well, bully and a coward? Both of them? And if I speak to my kids about this? The debate? Bit hard to tell, isn't it? It sounds like a bit of a threat, though, to me, this tweet, so I decided to inquire a bit further. Calls me another child abuser again. Making some pretty strong accusations. Right, so you're getting the gist. I've just said that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. May be a little bit triggering to certain people, and it may have been directly targeting those certain people, but it's not wrong with saying it. It's a true statement. Certain people have conditioned themselves to a new argument over 4 years. Didn't know what was hitting them. Fight the Flat Earth brought me in. Incidentally, that might be the person who I might be debating again 4 years later. Might be fun. Not making accusations. I've admitted. What have I admitted to? Look at this. This is Fight the Flat Earth, right? I'm not making any accusations. I'm stating facts. You admitted to abusing your children.
Wait. Can you give me a second? Isn't this the guy that goes around beating up his neighbors,
It
talking
is,
about
yeah,
abuse?
yeah. Yeah, this is
Shit.
4 years ago. This is, you know, just as he was going around talking to people on the internet. I mean, he didn't know me. I just got a camera for me lad to go and do some stuff. We've been to Bedford, sat in a dinghy, done what Robotham did, took the video footage. This guy.
Hang on, Robotham didn't take any video footage.
I know.
So
Like
you
the
got one up
only
on him.
surviving footage of anything to do with what Robotham did is held by my son. And obviously on this YouTube channel. So that's that's another one of my lad's claim to fame. I think he's done quite a lot. Filmed Sunset Fata Morgana. Been to do Robotham and Wallace. Been on doing that. He's a photographer now, you know. Right, it says, I'm not making any accusations. I'm stating facts. You admitted to abusing your children. I'm now going to expose you in my next video as a child abuser. You know, somewhere people will watch. Like, literally, I'm just going to expose you because you've told everybody that you are. Now, that's the sort of person that is going to go on and beat his neighbour up in a violent assault. That's the guy that brought me into this arena. Prove that level's horizontal. All right. Of course I can. You're a child abuser for saying that. Listen to what he calls me a child abuser for. Oh, shout out to the FE initiative. It's the FE initiative. Nice attempt at a hashtag, though. This is what I was teaching my son. It says, I'm teaching my son level is a straight line on the horizontal. Is that abusing him? That's what I said. And these are all fight the flat
Hang on,
earth.
that sounds like an absolutely true statement, if you ask me.
It is. Yeah, there's a bunch of people, and they've got worse. They've got more committed to this thing. It's like Fight the Flat Earth said it, and then everybody else has to just follow along with what Fight the Flat Earth says. It's like he's their sort of guru or something. I don't know. There's quite a few of them at the minute.
So Rob, you said that that this sounds like a fact to you. Well, it sounds like a fact to just about everybody else outside of this arena, which is, I think, why Bev is stating we're done. We've done the learning now. We're done with this stupid arena that can't just concede levels horizontal.
Yeah, remember,
every time you set up a level, it's horizontal. Yeah,
I could
phenomenal.
be anyone who's read a dictionary and gone, well, isn't level horizontal? Says it in a dictionary. Everybody uses it as such. So, I mean, I could literally be anyone. And this is the sort of person that Fight the Flat Earth is pointing out. So I came into this arena thinking, surely, you know, this is a bit of a wake-up, right? Because Fight the Flat Earth is just literally calling me a child abuser for saying that level's horizontal.
Yeah, you had to be thinking to yourself, well, certainly what I'm saying isn't just an innocuous statement. Why am I getting this kind of reaction from this weirdo? Yeah. And then you can let that go, maybe, right? Like, okay, it's one internet weirdo, obviously a weirdo.
Yeah.
Who has a problem with me teaching my son that level is a straight line on a horizontal. But my goodness, these other people's just come flocking in.
But yeah.
Now you have to be thinking.
Followers.
Yeah. Now you have to be thinking though, right? Like, what did I tap into?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? I thought this was one random weirdo, but
Yeah,
it's not just
I'll
one
make
random
a
weirdo.
video about this random weirdo, and I got a load of hate for it. Like, if you go to this, there's 3 thumbs up on this video. I don't know how many thumbs down there are, but it's at about a 20%. It's my worst rated video. So Fight the Flat Earth and his mates, he got everybody to come over and thumbs down it. That's how much interest there was on behalf of anybody that's worried about people who just say that level's horizontal on the internet. You just end up with people like Fight the Flat Earth, violent criminals now, you know, they're most likely to assault a neighbour. They're the sort of people that thumbs down this video about me saying about Fight the Flat Earth doing it. Nobody cares. So that's what we've found over the 4 years, right? Nobody cares about Fight the Flat Earth saying this sort of thing about just normal people. But there seems to have been a lot more people that join him, rather than the people saying, no, that's a bit silly. Come on, let's have a proper conversation about this.
Really? Why would you exactly somebody challenging this internet weirdo to go, are you serious? You're talking about somebody abusing their child because they're telling them level is a straight line on a horizontal?
Yeah.
Have you ever used a level?
Right.
I mean, I could just see everybody. Have you ever used one? You don't use one vertically, do you? You use a level horizontally, don't you?
It's because that this arena, right, is focused, hyper-focused on the arguments revolving around this issue. And this is a acceptable behaviour within this arena. That's what I've learned over 4 years, is that the blue marble scientific method is to allow yourself to accept contradictions and to support this sort of behaviour, to shut down conversation purposely. One of the weirdest places and arenas that I've ever known about, but it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about how to interact with people and how to interact socially on social media. I've been learning for 4 years, done 1,000 videos. This sort of stuff has never been addressed. That nobody did anything about Fight the Flat Earth saying this. Now, 4 years later, look at the man that he is. Because nobody said anything to him about this. This behaviour for this person 4 years ago has continued. And now he's bragging about beating his neighbour up, going to court, not having to pay any fines. In fact, he made money from his criminal activities, which I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be acceptable, but it seems to be in this particular arena. Very strange. People have got to start asking questions of people. Conversations are going to start getting real.
Well, welcome to anonymity on the internet, because that's what a big part of it is. You don't know a lot of these people, so they can say whatever they want to say, and with no repercussion. You don't know who I am.
Fight the Flat Earth said he's going to expose me on his channel. He did. He literally called me a child abuser live on his channel in front of all of his subs. That's partly the reason we're here where we are. Those people that you see on these chat rooms, the text chat trolls, they're all the Fight the Flat Earth supporters. They love him. People still try and get him billing, so they bring in new flat earthers. to inverted commas debate frantic bunny ears with him about the shape of the earth, which I think we all know here now, most of us, like, absolutely certain it's a bullshit argument. Like, literally an argument to nothing, circular, round and round and round, getting nowhere. We all know that there is no proof for the dogmatic globe model. There is only dogma. That's all they've got. Yet, this sort of behaviour, acceptable back in the day, 4 years ago. Come to try and work out some stuff. Now, there have been people that have been around that have continually fed this narrative around us. And we've watched it. We've literally watched the behaviour of all of the people that came around to play their games, let's say. That's ended now. We've watched everybody play their games. We know what they're playing, and we know the reasons that they keep coming round, because they still think they've got the upper hand within this narrative. Well, they haven't. We know all of the tricks, and we know all of the plays. It's going to get tough, because the trolls are going to start thinking that, well, they'll do what they normally do. Probably started a bit ago with people like Nathan Oakley starting making his videos. We know who the players are within this arena, and we know how they play the game. We're not in this arena anymore. We're playing a different game. But we are still the debunkers that we always have been. Just now, we're coming out of the shadows a bit more. We'll make it a bit more obvious what we're doing. Take us back to the tweet. This tweet. Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. It's changed a little bit. This is the tweet. So, this tweet came around because this fella, this dude, decided to call me a child abuser for teaching my son. What was I teaching my son? This. I gave my son 3 balls. This is no joke, this. It's one of the things. Check that out. Told him to level the balls.
Did he just balance them?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, the first one's kind of wedged under the right under the a little bit. He did well though.
Yeah.
I mean, I dare say somebody else should try this.
There's blue tack here. I'm sticking these bits on there and bit of stuff in the background. But yeah, looks cool, doesn't it?
Still,
Yeah,
yeah, it does.
I give them props.
Yeah. How would you do, right? If somebody handed you 3 balls and 3 levels.
Not that
Go-
well.
Go and level these balls for us. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Asked him to level them. Ridiculous task. How would you do? Could you do better than this? I'm sort of known for that, right? People, the ballers, they don't get it, really. But, yeah, I do that to my family. Ask them to do ridiculous things just to prove that some people do say nonsense things. Some people think that balls are level. Or really big balls. Crazy people. All of they were Level. All of the levels. The levels were level. You did very well. The balls, not so much. My child abusing, that was, according to this man. So, back to the tweet. That was the origins of this tweet. Flat Earth Discord 24/7. Oh. Get on. That was where we were, Eric. You remember that, Emma? Were you there at that time when we did that debate with Fight the Flat Earth? Over there. One of the first times he came out. We was going over this a bit earlier. When were you there, Emma? I think you were, weren't you? In the when we did the Fight the Flat Earth stuff. See this one as well. We want YouTube. So this one. These are my first 4 videos. This one was a test for picture quality to see what it looked like when we went out. But this is, whether you can see, this is 85-mile shot of Isle of Man from about 300 foot, I think. I don't know whether we had the quality right or not. How it did look, whether you could actually see it on. Can you see? You can actually see Isle of Man there in the background. But I don't think it went that well. Trying to get it for the landmark from the church. But again, that was one of those things that we went up to the local high spot and then got 85 miles. You can see that there, can't you? The Isle of Man, 85 miles away, which was one of the things that these guys were actually talking about, right? Because on Twitter, as any proud father would do after buying their son a P1000, you'd say, like, look, he's got a picture of the Isle of Man there from 85 miles away, like.
Absolutely.
How isn't that impressive? Oh, it's the furthest you've got a picture of.
Definitely.
And they all
and the Fata Morgana as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I proud as a peacock I'd be of my son. Yeah.
Well, the guy said, well, you should see that. And we've said, yeah, I know, it's there. Look, you can see that. It's 85 miles away.
Pretty good, that.
Yeah. Forget, like, we literally just got a P1000. So we've been out, we've done Robotham in a dinghy and watched some really weird effects with a P1000. I'm pretty sure that's the only sort of thing you would be able to see it with. On the P1000. I don't know whether any normal camera would have been able to have picked up the Robotham, the sort of a Fata Morgana, but like really close. And then Fata Morgana. Then the thing, and that was one of the first things, like, you know, showing them that picture of 85 miles, and they said, well, look, the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. And I said, yeah, I know it doesn't. Which I think that caused them a little bit. I don't know whether they had no. I don't know whether they knew what to say. But when I said, how could the horizon rise to eye level? Because the horizontals are parallel, right? Level's a straight line, and it can't rise because they're parallel. That was when they started calling me a flat earther. So I was a child abuser. Because that's what it is, right? That was the thing. I thought people would think, wow, that's weird. That he could just call somebody a child abuser because they say level is horizontal. And then I wasn't a flat earther. I mean, I might have been hanging around with the flat earthers and, you know, talking. Well, I was talking to the globers as well, obviously. But if you talk to the globers and don't agree with everything they say because they're fucking lunatics, then they end up calling you a flat earther. And I mean, that's where we are. I'm not a flat earther, but these guys think I am. And they think, because they think I'm a flat earther, they have the right to call me a child abuser. Because they think that I'm teaching my son flat earth. Because they think level being horizontal is flat earth. It isn't. Just reality. And there's a lot of people that just live in reality that end up coming into a little arena where they're not ready for whatever they find inside it. Because not many people are ready to be called a child abuser. Seems to be a lot of people that are wanting to call that as well. I mean, that sort of thing ended. But Fight the Flat Earth, his channel carried on. He carried on saying that stuff. I've got a recording of him saying it. I don't know whether I actually had it in there, did I? I've got some stuff. Straight line stuff. Right, hey, I'll check this out. This is only a 55-second clip, but this is the sort of stuff I came into this 4 years ago with, listening to.
This on this flat earth fuck will only talk about the stuff on a 2D plane. So
that was nice.
You know that spherical triangles are things. Triggered. You know that great circle rate roots are things. You know that there isn't one fucking
straight lines don't bend.
They do. They curve. Actually,
no, they
straight
don't.
Lines can curve.
That would be called.
I mean,
a
you can
curved
keep
line.
saying that as much as you want, but every time you say it, you sound like a retard.
What? By saying that once you curve a straight.
Listen to that, right? Literally, I wasn't expecting this. Right, we're having a debate about a straight line. And this literally, it took me back, right?
You sure that was a debate?
I said, like, straight lines don't bend. He goes, yeah, they do. Literally, you could hear it in my voice. Like, I didn't know what to say. But, like, that sort of onward behaviour, right? I'll put it back again. It's fucking crazy. And I've heard even more ridiculous things said. But listen to the confidence that he thinks he can get away with this.
Roots of things. You know that there isn't one fucking
straight lines don't bend.
They do. They curve. Actually,
no, they
straight
don't.
Lines can curve.
That would be called.
I mean,
a
you can
curved
keep
line.
saying that as much as you want, but every time you say it, you sound like a retard.
What? By saying that once you curve a straight line, it then becomes a curved line.
And that curved line is straight, because if you
Like,
And you-
come on.
And you're the one who sounds like a retard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You bend
Holy.
a straight line, it becomes curved, and then that curved line is straight. I mean,
He is mental, definitely. This is just
Yeah.
mental.
yeah, he's most likely to assault a neighbour and then make money out of it.
You draw a straight line
Say
on
that
a
again.
ball.
Say that again. Say that again.
All right, if you draw a straight line on a ball, that straight line will curve.
It's already curved. It's on a curved surface, you muppet.
Yeah, and it's a straight line, you fucking
It's
retard.
not a straight line. It's curved.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking, it's crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
Oh, look at this. Like, here's another video, right? This is, oh, Godzilla. Thank you very much, dude. No, not even any writing or anything. Thank you, Gods. Shout out, Godzilla. Right. This is drawing perpendicular lines with Euclidean geometry. One of my earlier videos.
You don't realise how
this is a
retarded
shoe
you
before?
seem? Carry on, giving us your hypothesis for shoe, you absolute bonehead.
Yeah, the hypothesis for the shoe is that this is a shoe.
It's not a hypothesis.
Yeah, it is.
Brenda,
Brenda,
You're
this
retard.
is why we love when you come back.
Brenda, how do you?
She turned me into a newt. A newt. Got better. She turned me into a newt. A newt. Got better.
Oh, let's see. What was that? Oh. Well, let me get this. To all the globe defenders, please submit your geometry with axioms and postulates along with a method that shows how a perpendicular from a straight line can curve around a presumed non-sphere. Nobody's ever done that. Turns out I had to go and make a geometry with axioms. Thank you, chat, Gods tells me. Thank you, all of you. So perpendiculars, geometry was there right at the beginning. And this, I think this is the... This is one of the bits that I was more interested in because of the way he came in with the child abuse sort of thing. And I have been, you know, I have done some teacher training. So I do have an interest in it, obviously. My son, thank you very much. Kevin, thank you. Hey there, Gods. Very kind of you, so I guess I'll have to do something as well.
It's also from the chat.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Right, so check this out. This is an education thing that Fight the Flat Earth came out with. And since he was the one that was calling me a child abuser, then I think it sort of goes to show what sort of teaching you want to be giving to your own children, I guess.
How far did you get in maths at school? Because you actually learn about this stuff in high school. Did you drop out of high school? Or did you just not listen to anything?
I did not.
Well, then why didn't you learn this basic shit that most people learn?
What basic shit? Go on.
That non-Euclidean
That straight
geometry
lines
exists.
bend.
Straight lines can bend. Oh, curves rather than bend.
Who got taught?
No.
Somebody who got...
Yeah, who got taught that? I mean, like, seriously, I mean...
No,
at
absolutely
high school.
not. High school, grammar school, university, no. In geometry,
I took
a straight
PD
line
in
is a
high
straight
school.
line.
Yeah.
I took technical drawing in high school.
Yeah.
And a straight line was a straight line, and a curved line was different.
It's mental,
Even if
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
even
unbelievable.
Even if you tried to pull Bob the science guy's, idiocy of straight line, curved line, straight line, curved line, based on your perspective, it's still a curved line. Law of identity, it's still a curved line. Even if it looks straight to you in one perspective, it's still a curved line. It's not a straight line.
Isn't Bob shorter than a straight line, though?
Yeah, well, it was also shorter than a straight line. But that was it. Remember he got upset at the curved line, straight line, curved line, straight line.
Yeah, but that curved line is shorter than a straight line. Do you get, like, how do you reason that in your own brain that a straight line or a curved line from the same point to point would actually be shorter than the straight line distance? Like, just brain dead, these people that have to have the model.
Well, it's sort of what interested me, right? Like, how could you not want to learn more? Not only for the fact that, he's talking to people about straight lines, but it's how violent the reaction is to it. Like, I was unaware of all of this sort of stuff. Like I said, I came into it without a model. So I'm just a normal dude. I'm that person who doesn't have a model, right? I'm the everyday man that is unaware of all of these numbers and equations and arguments, right? It's literally just somebody fresh into it. That's the way I think you have to look at me. Call me Asperger's or whatever. Like, say I've got a goldfish, I don't have a memory. But you've got to remember that I'm just the person without a model. That's it. That everybody that's around here that imagines they have a model, well, you've only made that model yourself. I don't have that model. I've never built that model. So, I'm just the everyday person that's unaware of all of this. Now, people are aware of flat Earth because of people like this. Because of his violent reactions towards anything that offends him. And what this guy's done is he's made a fictitious model of a flat earther. And he thinks he can just hand it out to anyone. Well, that's what brought me in. I'm not a flat earther. I wondered what the people within this arena would be like. And it turns out they like him. They want this to carry on. People in this arena need it. Yeah.
And then when he goes and abuses his neighbors, they give him the most money he's ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with like 90% of the people on the internet, is they can have guilty pleasures and think that being bad on the internet is somehow self-gratifying. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, but the thing that got me the most is the people that are compliant with it. They don't want to acknowledge it because I don't know, whether they're fighting for something else. I haven't got a clue why they don't want to acknowledge it. Or I didn't at the time. Now, I do know. It's a form of ECV. Because they need him as much as he needs them. It's a vicious cycle that goes round and round. It's time to just jump off and enter reality. So, listen to them telling me, somebody who's, lived in reality. I've done practical things. I've got a little bit of building construction knowledge. I've got a trade behind me. You know, I've done stuff. This is
Not
telling
taught
me.
that straight lines bend.
Well, all these people
you
that just
should
said
tell
one.
that teacher off, man.
Dude, we just went through that vote. All of the people on my channel were taught that straight lines can curve.
So he did a YouTube internet consensus thing of the people in his chat. And they all agreed with him that they pressed 1. Right? So they told him and they reinforced his delusion. It was allowed, right? The consensus on his channel was that, yeah, of course they were taught that straight lines can bend in school. That's crazy.
Really?
And if you actually paid attention at school, then you would know that as well. But I'm guessing
it's me going, what's that say about the education system? Literally, I'm not having it. It doesn't matter how many people press 1 on Fight the Flat Earth channel. Nobody was taught that straight lines curve.
I would usually try to give a benefit of the doubt here by saying maybe they understood his question to his people as, can you bend a straight line? Like if you had a straight line that was bendable, could you bend it? And then it would become a curved line. Then he'd say, well, sure. Yeah, sure you could. But I don't think that's what he's asking. And I don't think his followers would take it that way either. They're just crazy.
Yeah, I don't think, to this day, I still don't think these people that Fight the Flat Earth and the likes, right? I don't think they understand what non-Euclidean geometry is. It's literally taking that straight line and bending it. Straight lines do not exist as straight lines once you do that. Oh, gods. Stop it. Thank you very much, Paige. And thank you very much, Ian. You're very generous. Thank you very much, chat. Again. Well, I'm Mike. Thank you. This thing here says, I prefer to make up my own quotes and attribute them to very smart people so that I can use them to win arguments. Spotted it years ago. Oh, thank you very much, Flat Rocky, again, and Gods. You're the man. And from who? Thank you very much, guys. Some members. Thank you very much, guys. Right, yeah, so this is education that he's trying to tell people 4 years ago that this is the sort of stuff taught in schools. Now, I was hoping that people would listen to him calling other people child abusers and then wonder what's going on with the education system. You know, who are the teachers? Well, it turns out I listened to Nathan Oakley the other day. He's calling Conspiracy Cats a teacher. So he's giving credibility to Conspiracy Cats and adding him to the teacher. He's not a teacher. There's no way that Conspiracy Cats is the teacher. And we've just heard just recently of Flat Earth Math, a teacher in America go by the name of Flat Earth Mathematics, right? As if there isn't something more ridiculous than that. But that's what they want to represent as teachers. And then you want to represent Fight the Flat Earth as being the educated ones that went to the schools where the teachers taught them that straight lines curve. Now, I don't know about everybody else in this arena, right? But what we've got here is we've got a group of people that are literally making up stuff. They're pretending to be teachers, and then these most triggered people like Fight the Flat Earth, the one that calls people child abusers, he's that model afflicted that he will literally teach his children that straight lines bend. That's how model afflicted he is. And he wants to be telling other people, that what they're doing. I can guarantee Fight the Flat Earth would teach his kids that straight lines are circles in certain circumstances. And I don't know what that does to the mind of a child. I would say it's dangerous to be doing that sort of stuff to children. You teach children for the time that they're in and the ability that they have. You do not teach them falsehoods. It can be detrimental to even adults. Well, I know it can be detrimental to adults.
It's certainly confusing, if nothing else. I mean, how small children are taught in the first place is the law of identity, right? You put the blocks in front of them, right? And you say, this is a square, and this is a circle, and this is a triangle or a pyramid or what have you, right? You're teaching children from a very, very, very early age the law of identity without teaching them the law of identity. But then to say, this is a straight line, and this thing that's bending is also a straight line.
Yeah, this square can be a circle if you think
about it.
Yeah,
the square can be a circle. Exactly.
That's got to be detrimental, even to adults, right?
Absolutely.
I've seen the effects that it has on adults. This model, once you step out of reality, which is just the people that don't know, right? Just everybody that doesn't know about the model. As soon as you move into the area where you are talking about the model, then you get separated in two different groups. You stop being the reality person that knows nothing about it, and you turn into one of these different people. I think most people just leave again because they know or they sense that there's some really weird shit going on with some really weird people. Likely psychotic. Highly likely. But then there are people, I know that there are people around that aren't like that. Right? There are people that are genuine people. To be honest, I think most of them are here. I think we have had conversations with most people, and there's only a fair few that can stick around this arena like this. And we're here to stay, definitely. We're not going to change. We never have changed. We are the same group of people we always have been. Yet now I've learnt my lessons. I know how to make videos. I know how to talk to people. I never really knew any of this sort of stuff before, but now I do. And yeah, we're going to do some good stuff. But again, this is the reason I'm here. And this is the reason that it will continue to be this reason. People bullshitting about stuff. This is true debunking.
That you were in the lower level of the maths classes and that you spent your time sticking a pencil up your nose and trying to find out what was stuck in your belly button than actually pay attention to the fucking teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, Bev, honestly, you're one of the dumbest motherfuckers that I have ever spoken to.
Oh, thank you very much.
So what the idea is they want people to get angry. And I'm just not that sort of a person. I'm okay. I know that straight lines don't bend. I'm okay. And this was me at the beginning. Talking to Fight the Flat Earth. I bet how many people do you reckon he's talked to in the past? Have you heard most of the conversations he has? What's he normally do? It's the idea. I might be debating him again, you know. Do you think that'd be about?
It's not a compliment.
Is that because I think straight lines don't bend?
Yeah, obviously, because you didn't
And
finish high
I
school.
teach my child that, and you think
you are
is child
psychologically
abuse.
damaging your child if you teach him any flat earth doctrine. That is psychological child abuse.
See, that's the sort of stuff. And what, teaching him that straight lines don't bend? Strange we should say that, right? Because we've got a clip that Flat Earth Math was talking about in the Buster song I've just done with the You Don't Understand, where he says when you're talking to people that don't know about the globe, they think straight lines are straight. It's exactly the same thing, honestly. It's exactly the same thing that he's saying right here, that people who don't know it's a globe aren't willing to bend straight lines. And they think you're mad, so therefore they call them like the Flat Earth does here. That's what he thinks of you. He thinks if you're aren't willing to bend a straight line for them to join their gang, then they're going to have the right to be able to call you like this, psychological child abuse. For you not indoctrinating your children into this weird cult that they've got.
And what did he call it? Flat Earth Doctrine? Is that what he called it? Flat Earth
Doctrine? That straight lines don't bend.
Yeah, obviously, because you didn't finish
And
high school.
I teach my child that, and you think
you are psychologically damaging your child if you teach him any flat earth doctrine. That is psychological child abuse.
Well, straight lines not bending. I mean, this is how I came into this arena. I've not made a big deal out of it because I thought people would do that. But what I've watched for 4 years is this type of behaviour be accepted, be allowed within the argument. You've got to give him his arguments. I mean, this is it. This is all they've got. It's shocking to know that after 4 years, there's nothing more. They've all just supported him. And people like him. People want to be like him. This is the role model for the globe faith. He's like a high priest.
Absolutely 100%.
Did you ever call child services on me?
Well, no, because you're not physically harming your child. If
he did, he threatened to call child services.
Wouldn't that be? It's too bad that he didn't, because could you imagine that conversation? Yeah. Sir, we're doing a wellness check on you. Somebody says you're abusing your children. Yeah, I teach them that a straight line is a straight line and not a bent line. Yeah. What?
Yeah. Sort of a person goes around on the internet telling people that they're child abusers and they're going to call social welfare on them for telling your children that straight lines don't bend. Fucking crazy.
If you were physically harming your child, that would be different.
Then why did you threaten it?
Because I get angry when I learn.
He gets angry. Look, he admitted it. He gets angry. Most likely to abuse a neighbour. To go down as... Listen.
Then why did you threaten it?
Because I get angry when I learn that people are willfully ruining their child's development.
So, if you tell your child that straight lines don't bend, like his chat pressed 1 in the chat for her, he gets angry. And we all know what he does when he gets angry. I mean, should he really be on the internet? I believe teaching children lies like religion and flat Earth is child abuse. My comment was, dude, religion now as well? I'm not a flat earther. And I don't know why you had to bring religion into it, because I've not ever really talked about any of that. It's just a horrible person that's allowed within this community. But he's not even in this community, but yet he's a representative of, I don't know, globe. The 6 billion or whatever, however many people he likes to imagine there is. This guy's a representative of that. With children, and he's a violent criminal. Telling people he gets angry.
Makes me mad.
By telling him what, Craig? That straight lines don't bend.
But so you're literally telling him non-Euclidean geometry isn't a branch of mathematics. So
no, I
literally telling him that non-Euclidean geometry is not a branch of mathematics. I mean, that's all he knew. Literally, he came into a debate about straight line and level with non-Euclidean geometry. That's all he had.
That not Euclidean geometry is not Euclidean geometry, and you teach your children Euclidean geometry.
Yeah.
That's really
yeah, it's like, that's you're harming your child if you don't teach them that something doesn't exist, can be imagined as existing. Replacing what's known with something that nobody knows anything about. Like that's how bad the argument was at the beginning, and it's not got any better. In fact, there's a lot more of them about to fall into the very same trap. Terrible.
What do you mean? Who told him that?
Here's the thing, right?
You're just making stuff up,
going to go to school.
He's just being absolutely ridiculous.
Here's the thing. Your kid's going to go to school, and he's going to be sitting there.
Were either of your sons taught that straight lines can bend? That a curved line is a straight line?
No, well, both of my sons have a firm understanding of reality, right? Because obviously my youngest son is autistic. So I learned very early on that you don't want to be lying, because that can be very detrimental, and people take on things quite easily. You can be influenced very easily as a child. And knowing that he, was autistic, I wanted, obviously, to try and keep him out of anything that would influence him. But you have to go to school, right? And they're going to pick up things within school. Right. And that it comes a time where you're going to have to undo some things that were taught at school. You just have to acknowledge that, don't you?
Yeah, but I would imagine that this is not one of the things that you would have had to undo, like trying to convince your sons that the school system trying to convince your sons that a curved line is really a straight line.
Yeah,
I would not imagine that's right. That's what I'm getting at. Is it's not something you had to unteach because it was not something that was taught. So I don't know what kind of. I mean, I know what Craig lives in Scotland, right? I'm not sure what kind of schooling that his children are getting in Scotland, but I'd be shocked if they are teaching his children that a curved line is also a straight line.
Yeah, this non-Euclidean geometry in high school sounds absolutely ridiculous. And if it is being brought in, if anybody does know anything about teaching and high schools, I would highly doubt it, but because Fight the Flat Earth is known to be a compulsive liar, obviously, and a violent criminal, and most likely to get angry when he hears things that he doesn't like. You know, if people don't agree with him, he gets angry, and he thinks he's okay to do that. That's modern life, though, right? People know that these sort of people exist now. 2023, people like Fight the Flat Earth are obviously characters, but he's not a character. He's really like that. He does get angry. He's not putting that on. People pay him money so he can do that, so he can talk to people like that. It shouldn't be praised, especially not in this day. Should be we should be looking after the children to hopefully bring them up into a better place, not teaching them this sort of crazy bullshit. It only occurs because people like him proliferate it. They put it out everywhere, as though they're making some sort of an argument against somebody. But as we've learned in the past few days, the arguments aren't even acknowledged. They just misrepresent everything so that they can imagine a win. You know, Betty's trying to convince us about he's trying to convince me that I'm the one that's trying to falsify Proposition 29. I don't know how he's managed to do that, but yeah, some sort of a really weird subversal that's being played. But that's the only way that certain groups of people can actually survive, is to misrepresent entire arguments. And what's Sarugaki call it? The bulverism. Where you can just dismiss entire arguments because it's related to a person or something. It's just a form of bigotry. So yeah, there's some really weird stuff going on at the minute. Straight line education. And then it goes straight into me having conversations with people about, well, having to document all of the stuff on my YouTube channel. It's crazy. Do you want to hear that one that I did? Let me just swap it.
I don't think
it's most of you like haven't really heard this one, have you? Okay, this is a buster. Oh, let me sort my window out. Look. Oh. Right, are you guys watching it in this is a double Buster. You don't understand. Compilation of, I consider it the best bits. I tried to sum up the entire Blue Marble Flat Earth math thing, and this one is Straight is Not Straight. That's the title of it. It's a double. So take it in.
I don't think that was really helpful. But what do you think, Blue?
Well, it's showtime.
So, we could say the old Bedford Level Canal traces a straight line, quote unquote. And we don't mean, the technical collinear Euclidean straight line. We simply mean it is following a geodesic. It's following a great circle path. And so one of the problems with trying to talk with people who don't know the Earth as a globe is that, straight line has exactly one definition in their mind, and that is the Euclidean straight line where all the points are collinear. But in the informal sense of just describing what is happening on the surface of a sphere, we informally say straight line. I mean, we should technically maybe say geodesic every single time, but I like the definition, the informal definition of a straight line as being the shortest path between 2 points, because that works both Euclidean and it works in spherical geometry. The shortest path between 2 points has utility, because I think everyone understands that. But people say straight line, and then they immediately go to Euclidean collinear, and that just causes a lot of problems where we say it with one meaning and then they interpret it with another meaning, and that was my point. But it is an informal term. It's the brightest object on the face of the Earth. You have any thoughts on that, Blue?
Yeah, I'm in line with you on that too. I mean, it just from a standpoint of having a casual discussion with someone, I don't see the problem with talking about an arc segment of a great circle as being a straight line. It's showtime. In fact, the shortest distance, as you point out, between any 2 points on the sphere.
Shortest path, because they're going to say short. He just said shortest distance. He's geometrically illiterate.
To say that nobody uses non-Euclidean geometry is an outright lie.
Hold on, Doofus, you don't want to get mixed up between spherical coordinates and spherical geometry. Spherical geometry is just about the surface of a sphere. Spherical coordinates is, spherical coordinates.
It's unbelievable. He's geometrically illiterate.
So what are we doing today? What are we doing today, Charles?
Proving that Bev is not a flat earther. And I don't think he understands.
Right, exactly.
And I don't think he understands Bev is not a flat earther.
Right, exactly.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
And I don't think he understands.
So today we got the flat earth man. All horizontals are parallel with the plane of the horizon.
You could not generate a horizontal.
It's paper. Yourself.
Thanks.
Why?
No, I mean that because you can't help yourself.
It's not designed as that at all. It's not designed for generating horizontals, and so and Bev keeps on saying it is, and it isn't. So that's why I'm being a bit
using water to make a horizontal plane.
Right. The problem is water does bend. Fairly compelling, I would say. Makes me want to believe that the Earth actually looks like the picture I've got on my screen. And that horizontal and vertical are doing exactly what I'm showing. That's not possible.
Because Bev is not a flat earther.
Right, exactly.
Don't understand.
We use 3D Euclidean geometry all the time.
Right, exactly.
It's not my problem if you don't want to
We
learn.
only use Euclidean geometry.
They constantly force themselves into denying the idea that you can have an angle between a curve and a straight line or between two curves. Of course you can. That's fundamental in mathematics. That's fundamental.
And I'm going to
in
write to the makers of GeoGebra and suggest they do make the algorithm, but they don't have the algorithm to find the angle between a curve and a line, or between two curves. The angle exists, but it hasn't. It's not pre-programmed in. Meaning,
Yeah, sure. Over distance, you see some really strange things. You end up looking down to see something that is at an elevation higher than you are.
It'll tell you the angle between them, but you cannot click on a curve and a line and have it tell you the
Lining the tops of the water up in two vessels that are 60 feet apart gives you a line which we know is technically horizontal at its that line of sight is technically horizontal. It's showtime. You 2 points on a sphere. Right, exactly.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You
Who
just
cares
don't.
about the external angles? You only have to have one thing go wrong, and you can say that the verticals are not parallel.
This is wrong.
No reason, no logic.
Oh, I don't do math.
No worry.
I think it's important to point out that this is wrong.
You're just on your own.
Not. It's not that.
No reason, no logic.
Amazing.
No answers to questions.
It's horizontal. Purely on the horizontal.
Just on your own.
More the horizontals level. Another point, verticals are lines and not planes. That's another key thing, whereas horizontals are planes and not lines.
That's true. Yeah, actually it makes very good sense because it is not a sphere, it's an ellipsoid. So the distance from the center is going to be a little shorter on the north end than it is on the south end. That's exactly what you see. Yes, I was just showing a little bit of LIGO just for fun. The Livingston LIGO, and where the tangent plane is tangent, the point of tangency. It's down there where that red X is, if you can see my cursor wiggling around.
This is a very good way to visualize it.
That's where it is. And the elevation at the point of tangency is about 59 feet. But as you move away from that point of tangency, 59-foot elevation is dropping away from that tangent plane. By the time you get to the bottom end of that arm on the right, the elevation of the plane at that point is about 60 feet. When you go north 2.5 miles, at the center, the elevation is about 63 feet, and when you go to either end of that upper arm, it goes to 64 feet. So that's how it works. There's nothing magic about it. You just got to understand where the point of tangency is for that tangent plane.
This is a very good way to visualize it.
If you look at it, whoops, let me back up a second. If you were to look at it from the tangent point looking north, in other words,
this is a very good way to
back up for a second.
Visualize it.
If we position ourselves right here and looked that direction, looked up toward the 63-foot elevation, end up with something that looks like that. The point of tangency here is 59 feet. That line there, that red line, is 59 feet.
Visualize it.
And 60 feet, 61, 62, 63 is the point of tangency right at the center of that arm. 64 feet is the elevation at the end of each end of that arm.
Anyway, so Blue, you want to move on?
Yeah, it all makes sense.
Well, I don't think that was really helpful, but what do you think, Blue?
It's showtime. There are no external angles here, Bev. It all makes sense.
Indeed, the cylindrical polar coordinates and the spherical polar coordinates, and then the spherical geometry. All those three things are different.
The Nile River flows in the wrong direction, and hence likely to be confused by many people.
Yeah, GPS uses 3D Cartesian coordinate system, and the y-axis is perpendicular to it, and both the x and y pass through the equatorial plane. So that's the coordinate system for GPS. These guys have no idea how GPS works.
You don't understand.
This Dev is not a flat earther.
Right, exactly.
You don't understand.
Dev is not a flat earther.
Right, exactly.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
Well, yeah, but you're getting a lot wrong, I'm afraid, Charles. The vertical plane is not a good one. There's a lot of calculation involved.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it is just 3D Euclidean, ECN.
Yeah, the raw data is X, Y, Z in 3D Euclidean. All horizontals are parallel with the plane of the horizon. That's what you get.
So yes, we do use Euclidean all the time.
And those are all positions. Those positions are reference to the coordinate system. That's all. And you get things like this when you measure, as Jesse did, the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge. And there I'm showing you what the distances are from the fact is we can measure reciprocal zenith angles and show that those verticals are not parallel with each other. We can measure reciprocal zenith angles. All horizontals are parallel with the plane of the horizon.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
We can measure reciprocal zenith angles, and if the verticals aren't parallel, sorry fellas, horizontals are not parallel. They cannot be. All horizontals are parallel. That's just the facts. It's showtime.
The multiple meaning of this word drop is definitely a problem and does cause confusion. So
we only use Euclidean geometry.
We use Euclidean in real life. Why would you use non-Euclidean? I got some bad news for you. We use non-Euclidean in real life all the time.
We only use Euclidean geometry. To say that nobody uses non-Euclidean geometry is an outright lie. We only use Euclidean geometry. We only use Euclidean geometry. We only use Euclidean geometry.
All horizontals are parallel with the plane of the horizon.
Not my problem if you don't want to learn. You just on your own.
I would argue that the concept of vertical plane is not a good one.
No reason, no logic, no wisdom, no worry.
Traces a straight line, quote
You're
unquote.
just on your own. No reason, no logic, no answers to questions.
Quote unquote.
You're just on your own.
So we use Euclidean in real life. Why would you use non-Euclidean? I don't see the problem with talking about an arc segment of the great circle as being a straight line.
So, but it would be nice if the people who made GeoGebra could just simply have, clickability. You can click on a curve and it'll tell you the angle, just using internal, making an internal tangent that is just not visible. One of the problems with trying to talk with people who don't know the Earth as a globe is that, straight line has exactly one definition in their mind, and that is the Euclidean straight line where all the points are collinear.
What you reckon of that then?
That was great.
I don't know how many times I actually busted out laughing, but especially showtime.
There's a bit for everyone. The contradictions are the bits that I like. I really like being able to prove the dogmatic globe, right? And obviously you do that by showing that without contradiction, there wouldn't be a dogmatic globe. That any contradictions you find, you can prove the dogmatic globe easily. Because these contradictions will have to be incorporated within the dogmatic globe model. That's how you know for sure. There's a difference between reality, the real globe, and the dogmatic globe. The blue marble scientists are contradicting themselves. And apparently now you have to teach your children these contradictions, otherwise you get called a child abuser by this group of people. Well, they've stopped calling people child abusers because obviously they realise it's a bit strong, but they still call people flat earthers. It means the same thing to them. That's why, you know, people say, you know, like, I just call myself that. Well, you do realise what that means to a certain group of people, right? The willingness that you have to allow people to call you names like Fight the Flat Earth does. Because, you know, he gets angry at people. And you know his feelings. The fact that he doesn't call you that, I mean, he's already told everyone. That's what he thinks. It's a lot of other people that do exactly the same thing. Saragaki was talking about this pulverism that goes on. It's a form of bigotry wrapped into a philosophical idea that you can just dismiss things. It's philosophical because it's all about knowledge, how you gain knowledge, and where you place that trust in how you gain knowledge. There's some really strange people out there. So, yeah, I might be debating him again. But there's no way I'm debating shape of the Earth. I mean, how could I debate that with this man? He thinks straight lines curve. We have no ability to be able to talk about geometric principles with a man that thinks that straight lines curve. But there are other topics on the table. There's got to be, hasn't there? And that's where we're going, I think. Grown up. What have we got? Did I see Kenny came back in the live chat earlier? Did he
Yes.
pop in? Oh, Charles is in as well.
Yeah, we have not voice verified Kenny though, so it could well be an imposter. Not sure.
Quoted me in entirety at the beginning. Stand by that. It's accurate. No straw man. There you go.
I don't think that was really helpful.
That was this.
But what do you think, Blue?
Straight line.
Well, it's showtime.
So, you know, we could say the old Bedford Level Canal traces a straight line, quote unquote.
Straight line, quote unquote. What's that mean? This is, like he said, this is accurate. This is what Charles thinks, right? This is similar to when I brought in at the beginning telling people about Fight the Flat Earth. You know, how he acts. This is, I'm serious about this. Listen to what he says. He's talking about a straight line, quote unquote.
And we don't mean, you know, the technical collinear Euclidean straight line.
They don't mean the technical Euclidean collinear straight line. They don't mean that.
We simply mean it is following a geodesic. It's following a great circle path. And so
a geodesic in Euclidean space is a straight line, like a real straight line. Just to point that one out, right? So a geodesic in Euclidean space is an actual real straight line. That's what he's talking about.
So one of the problems when trying to talk with people who don't know the Earth as a globe is that, you know, straight line has exactly one definition in their mind, and that is the Euclidean straight line where all the points are collinear.
So he's talking about people who don't know it's a globe, right? And they just have straight lines as being straight. And it's a problem for talking to people in Charles's mind. This is, it's just confirmed. It's accurate.
But in the informal sense of just describing what is happening on the surface of a sphere, we informally say straight line. I mean, we should technically maybe say geodesic every single time, but
just point out a geodesic in Euclidean space is an actual straight line.
I like the definition, the informal definition of a straight line as being the shortest path between 2 points, because that works both Euclidean and it works in spherical. It
works in both in his mind, but touch of Dialethism. He can have both. He stands by this. Accurate.
Spherical geometry. The shortest path between 2 points has utility, because I think everyone understands that. But people say straight line, and then they immediately go to Euclidean collinear, and that just causes a lot of problems.
It causes a lot of problems when people think about straight lines being straight. Forget, like the flat Earth. Just he was taught this in schools now, and this guy says he's a teacher. What's he teaching? Is he teaching this? Who knows?
Where we say it with one meaning and then they interpret it with another meaning, and that was my point. But it is an informal term.
He says it with one meaning and you interpret it with another meaning. Straight. And if you don't know about the globe, you may not be aware of the other straight that he's talking about when he's talking about straight. This is what you've got to come within an arena. Imagine you're debating these people if you want.
It's the brightest object on the face of the earth. You have any thoughts on that, Blue?
Yeah, I'm in line with you on that too. I mean, it just from a standpoint of having a casual discussion with someone.
Casual discussion.
I don't see the problem with talking about an arc segment, a segment of a great circle, as being a straight line.
He doesn't have a problem in casual conversation calling an arc of a great circle a straight line. Blue Marble. Remember a bit ago, Blue? If you're listening in, shout out, Blue. You were on about people saying that straight lines were circles. Circles were straight lines. Yeah, that's you, Blue. You. And Charles. Trying to confuse
And the Donegal.
people. Well, the Donegal is actual straight lines. So that was one of the earlier imaginings. But these guys literally have gone full nutsack. They've rounded it. Over the years, this is where we're at now. Where Charles is imagining that he's talking about straight lines, and if you imagine he is talking about straight lines, then he'll, label you with as a person who doesn't know the globe. Because you were thinking about straight lines, actual straight lines. And he was talking about a different sort of straight line. Blue doesn't see anything wrong with it either. I do. I'm not too keen on talking with people anymore that are literally delusional about straight lines. And this is what they talk about when they're together. When they've got together. I mean, we've been talking to them. And they've been saying that sort of stuff to us. But it's become like a bit of a sport, really, I think. Just saying some stupid shit. So that one will be coming out, that song, Buster, You Don't Understand. I think I might have to put that as a one of my favourites, because it sort of lets you know what's coming. The contradictions that are obviously dogmatic globe proof. If somebody can contradict themselves about a straight line being a straight line and a circle, and you not knowing which one that they're talking about when they're talking about it, People who think horizontals can't be established in reality. There's no such thing as a horizontal straight line in reality. Imagine that. Whilst knowing that everybody always deals with the horizontal. All plans, all elevation profiles, horizontals. I mean, we've sort of developed an argument, but it's never been an argument. It's just statements from reality that a certain group of people have developed their own how to deal with contradictions. Charles is telling us, yeah, that's right. That's 100% accurate. It's telling you about straight lines. And because of Fight the Flat Earth, right now, they can just label you once they label you to these arguments. Eric. Yeah, we might be able to do that. Get me lad to get some. It's a really big ball. Rave version. Yeah, well, my lad might be able to do that. Sample it in. We have got some new music coming as well. It's getting good with the music. Yeah, I don't want to be around people. I think we contribute to their insanity, personally. I think telling this group of people that a level is a straight line on a horizontal plane is too much. They can't accept it. They've placed the model first. The dogmatic model leads their reality. They can't access reality because of the dogmatic model that's told them that. But I mean, they've only been told that because we came around saying that levels are straight line. And the arguments that we've made, I guess. I don't know. And I'm guessing it's going to be upsetting for a certain group of people, right? To find out that a straight line has to be different for you to keep your model. It may sound strange to people, to hear that. But you have to come along. There's a certain very simple steps that you need to be led along to realise how quickly you'll have to bend that straight line yourself. If you want to keep the globe horizontal, it's got to go. You've got to bend it. Bendizontal is the only way, but you'll never find anyone admitting it. They can't admit it because we told them at the beginning. It was the challenge was on. How to make somebody say that horizontals are bending. Circles. We've got loads of people to say it. Ridiculous. Can you imagine having to be forced into saying that you can't have verticals and horizontals being perpendicular, even though everybody knows verticals and horizontals are perpendicular? You've got to imagine it differently. You've got to imagine perpendicular differently in order to get rid of horizontal. Why is horizontal different than vertical? I reckon it's because horizontals can be proved to be parallel. Whereas you can't prove the verticals, really. You need the horizontal in order to be able to prove Verticals are parallel. I've been saying that to them for a bit, right? It is known that it is impossible to measure the divergence of verticals. Everybody knows that. Yeah. It's stated all of the time that certain people have measured it. And I'm not too sure whether they've worked out a way that they can actually do it, or whether they're still just trusting shadow giants. Which again, another one that brought me into it, Jesse Kozlowski. But I've learned way more in these 4 years. A lot more than just, anything to do with the ridiculous shape of the earth argument. Because of which there are no arguments. We are the only ones with any arguments within that. And nobody wants to take them on. So, I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow or anything like that. I'm going to be starting to focus a lot more on building videos, short videos for arguments. I'm going to be doing a lot more of the music videos and stuff. We've already got all of the clips I think that we need talking to people, and I think I understand all of the arguments that seem to have been generated because of the things that we say. I'm not really interested in the shape based thing, because basically there is no argument within geometry. Geometry isn't scienceable in the new modern science way of thinking. It is tried, tested, and true already beyond that. That's what was in that thing, Kevin. In that book, there was a lot about that, that sort of Baconism, and, they were talking about those times. He focused quite a lot near the end when he was summing it all up, how people have become I don't know whether he called it institutionalized in thought through the education system. It does fit where it fits perfectly with the Dorothy Sayers thing. So I know that's what we are going to be doing. I'm going to be focusing more on debunking this and making sure that there aren't people who pretending to be righteous and all knowledgeable about things, and telling other people and just making lies up. Really, it's terrible, but it is 2023. Media rules. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else we've got to do. We go back over some of the earlier stuff, whether there's other videos. I was thinking about how the 4 years that we've been here with this group, right? Some people aren't aware of the beginning because they've come in a little bit later, and I bet some of us have forgotten about all of the older stuff as well. It seems like a different group of people. Definitely is. A lot of people have been around for a long time, doing all sorts of things. But one thing that I do know is that the arguments that have been generated and the arguments that have brought us all together in doing what we do here on the level Discord server, is to bring people into the arguments. They're coming back. Obviously the bridge and the hump, but LIGO's going to be massive. Blue Marble Science is bringing us into the 2023, 24 with a full expose of LIGO. Completely different elevation profiles than anywhere else in the world. It's fascinating. Buster song. Oh, we can do that. Yeah, we've got a massive playlist for Buster. I think I've got 40 odd playlists. Okay. Anyone want to? We'll have a Busted jukebox. Go on. Somebody give us a. Normally Rob Keane.
I didn't mean right now, but anytime.
I need to go to the
great
toilet
time
and
for a
make myself
Buster
a
song.
brew. Go on, give us your.
Machine Men.
Oh, I don't even know what
Yeah,
that one
I
is.
can't remember the name of that one, but that's one of my favorites. Actually, they're all one of my favorites.
Oh, it's not there.
The Charlie Chaplin one.
We're gonna do the. We all know you're insane, psychotic break mix.
Yeah, that's my favorite one too.
Right. Let me just. How'd you get to it? Oh.
It's not.
Right. I can't. Like, there's loads of these that I can't even remember. So. Be more of this drone footage. So 3 minutes. I'll be back in a minute.
It's not.
You're a comrade.
It's
as far as I'm
not
concerned, you are a
flat.
comrade of mine.
It's not flat.
It's horizontal.
Yeah, level is horizontal. Yes.
Okay, so it's not a ball.
Doesn't make the Earth flat.
You never measure what's in the real world. All you show is your stupid globe, and I know you'll never back your claims.
He had a psychological break and then became a glower.
Your world is full of illusions, contradiction between fact and fiction. I know you'll never back your claims.
He had a psychological break and then became a glower.
Driving the wrong way down a one-way street. Unstoppable force on immovable feet. Straight lines converge in the distance. Why do I get so much resistance? I know you'll never prove me wrong. And all we get are physics deniers, pathologic compulsive liars. I know you'll never prove me wrong.
He had a psychological break and then became a glower.
Driving the wrong way down a one-way street. It's where knowledge and ignorance meet.
You're a flat earther that thinks the earth isn't flat.
Paradoxes and confusion. Your mind is in delusion.
He had a psychological break and then became a glower.
I know you're insane.
Flat Earth, then they can think anyone a spinning ball. Because they're fucking nuts. It's like they need a model.
Yeah, they've lost their ball and they need to replace it with a fucking another model. It's bullshit. Don't live on a model. Don't know where it is.
Talk about your 2D surface. We all know you ain't got no purpose in life.
Mate, it's nonsense that they're spewing constantly everywhere. Every channel, everywhere on Facebook.
Driving the wrong way down a one-way street.
It's fucking bullshit. It's bollocks. Fixing straight line. What's wrong with that?
It's where knowledge and ignorance meet. Paradoxes and confusion. Your mind is in delusion.
He had a psychological break.
We all know you're insane. We all know you're insane.
Emma, myself, and a couple of others all encountered his drunken debauchery, psychotic break. And then after he became a Glober, yeah. So that makes sense. He had a psychological break and then became a Glober, from what I understand.
Right, I'm back.
Thank you very much.
I'll do some more Buster songs or whatever. Reliving the old times. I'll go over some more stuff. I didn't get a chance to boil the kettle though. Took a bit longer. Oh. Yeah, so I don't know, we've got plenty more of Buster songs. Shortest distance. Where is that one? You don't understand shortest distance. Is that the one that... I think there was one that Bob took down, to be honest. I don't know, 9 minutes. It's a big one. I'll put that on in a bit. Whew. Right, has anybody got anything they want to talk about? It is a Model Affliction Monday, but again, 1,000 videos. I didn't realise it was 1,000 until earlier today. So I didn't really have anything planned. And we've been going over... I've been going over that stuff with... obviously all last week. Blue Marble, Flat Earth Math, Charles, Farmer's Boy was in there, Rumpus. It's really strange watching what happens when this group of people have got together and they've taught themselves arguments that aren't really arguments. They've had to convince themselves now that horizontal doesn't exist. Straight lines are actually circles. And that anything we say basically is false. Euclidean geometry both can be true and can't be true at the same time. I'm pretty sure we've taught Dialethism. Brenda was the one that showed us exactly what Dialethism was and how it works. And, you know, how the break in logic happened at that time, which was pretty recent, actually. You know, a lot more recent than you'd imagine. This idea that you can have two truths. Obviously, it's in order for people to accept contradictions, because certain contradictions have to be true. There's no way of getting around it. If you want to have the dogmatic globe model, you're in a position where you are going to have to accept a contradiction and act as though it isn't contradictory. Which I think...
That's a fact.
I think there's a lot of people that, you know, when you say people that don't know about the globe, right? Those ones that Charles was talking about. Once you've not been conditioned to it, I think with the correct approach, people will know what a contradiction is, and they'll see the contradictions. With a completely different approach, the contradiction has to be accepted, and for you to incorporate yourself in like anything, any contact within this arena, you'll have to be either one side or the other, whereas we're on neither side. We're on the side of the people that aren't in this arena.
It's a staple for them. You have to believe in two truths. As a matter of fact, I was telling them that they believe in two truths before I even knew the term dialethism. I didn't even know there was a word for that. Yeah, and then I found, like, oh, yeah, that's the one. That's them.
Yeah, it's like we do quite a lot here. It has happened quite often where you discover a word that had just been missing, like you know, and that finding the word, you can find understanding about it, right? You can then have the rhetoric to be able to explain what it means when you can make that connection. So that yeah. There's a lot
before that
we said. Go on, sorry.
I used to tell them, do you know what the law of non-contradiction means? That's what I used to say back then, right? It's like, do you realize what you're saying? Yeah. But there's a better term for that. There's a better term, dialethism. You're believing in two truths. It's fascinating and it's just absurd.
They're trying at the minute. There's this sophist that they have called Beddy, proofless logician. Well, he's trying to do a subversal in a way that he's trying to get people to imagine that we are the sophists, that we are the diletheists. It's a very strange play, but I mean, yeah, that's what the proofless logician's trying to do at the minute.
This strange game is called projection.
Mm-hmm. I call it, it wrote it into imaginometry. It's called a subversal, whereas they try and sophisticatedly reverse the position on you, and it's only done for their own benefit as well and the people around them. But there's this arena that we're in, this group of people, the blue marble scientists, they are actually doing science, this blue marble science, this new modern science is a science where you have to learn how to accept contradictions. And this is just another way of them being able to do that. It's very strange because it's like you're teaching them how to obfuscate arguments, and I don't know. I don't feel comfortable in it at the moment because they're getting a little bit crazy, to be honest. Especially with their approaches.
I would say that you can accept contradiction only in psychological level, because on level of the mind, it is impossible. So I would say that they are just sacrificing their intellect for feelings, something like that, which is very sad, I would say.
Well, yeah. I've often said, right, that what we do here is we just state facts, right? Now, these facts may be troublesome to certain people. They may be disliked, not favourable. But they are facts and they are provable. Very basic facts. When you become accustomed to denying these facts and then can replace that fact with a contradictory thing within, like you say, within your mind, then that's dangerous. That's a exploded mind. Once you can explode your logical system actually within your mind, then I don't know, that's dangerous. I don't think you definitely shouldn't be around children, teaching those sort of things to children.
Absolutely. That would be, for me, child abuse, for sure.
But I mean, who chooses what's contradictory, right?
This is not matter of choice. Contradiction is in terms. So, like white and not white. So you cannot go around. You cannot say that they are the same. So it is on.
Can you teach that a straight line? Oh, sorry, babe.
No, go on.
I was just thinking, can you actually teach in school, in class, that a straight line curves? Is that like, that's not part of the curriculum, right? That would not be correct, right? I mean, that would be illegal in a sense.
It's contradictory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight line is straight, cannot curve, because we know what curve is and we know what straight is. And we know that they are different. So if they are different, therefore you cannot say that straight is curved, because it is contradiction in terms or in adjective or whatever.
Yeah, I remember in school, like I said, I took TD. We had rulers for straight lines, and we had other instruments to make circles. And a straight line was a straight line. It wasn't a curved line. I mean, how elementary do you have to get?
It's P and not P, isn't it?
Yeah.
For straight line, we have ruler. And for curved line, we have compass. So you cannot make straight line with compass, and you cannot make circle with the ruler. So this is just contradictory by itself. It's self-evident that this is contradiction.
Yeah, we had big flat tables that tilted, and we drew stuff on them. I mean, wow. I don't know.
Yeah, we've got I say we've got ourselves, but there are only us that have focused particularly on Euclidean geometry, right? I mean, it's not a big claim, but the simplicity of it hasn't been embraced for what it actually is. There's a certain group of people that like to imagine that it's slightly different than what it is, that they've gone better, they've progressed further. But again, they've still forgotten about the basics, the fundamentals. They have to go beyond that. Because the moment they do go down to the fundamentals, we're there at the straight line.
It's not like it's a program, right? Where like there's an update 2.0. It's not like there's an update for a straight line. It's not straight line 2.0 curve or something. No, it's never going to change. It's always going to be straight line 1.0. Ever, forever.
Yeah, there's no modern straight, although they try and do it in different ways, don't they? But hey, it's something that Fight the Flat Earth was doing 4 years ago, and it's something that Blue Marble Science and Fight the Flat Earth is still doing today, 4 years on. It's never going to change. It's never going to be any different at all.
And Flat Earth Math also, because he's saying that this is informal or whatever. There is no formal or informal. Straight is straight, formally or informally. It doesn't matter.
There will never be an update. Ever. Don't wait for it. It's not coming.
And there'll never be a better argument. Right? It doesn't involve flat at all. It's about fundamental understanding of actual geometry, starting at the straight line. And you can't really, you can never really have that conversation, because one straight line leads to perpendicular, and perpendicular leads to Euclidean geometry. The straight line is Euclidean. So when they're talking about non-Euclidean, they're not talking about the straight line. That's the thing that I don't think they've completely missed it, because they think it's just on the surface of a sphere, but it's not. That's Euclidean. The sphere is Euclidean. You needed the radius and the diameter in order to tell you what a sphere is. That's Euclidean. There's a group of people that imagine that the surface of a Euclidean sphere is non-Euclidean. That's not the way it works. You go into non-Euclidean, there is no vertical. You're in a strange land where there are no straight lines, because straight lines are Euclidean. You've got the not that. You've gone into the land of the not that, which probably makes more sense out of modern life when you understand that people have embraced the not that. Because it's a lot easier to embrace the not that, because you never have to acknowledge the that in the first place. You can just go straight to the not that. Because the thing about the that is, it's Euclidean. And if you have to acknowledge Euclidean, then it's hard to have not that when you already have the that. You then have to start dealing with what we call the Blue Marble scientific method, the acceptance of the contradictions, the teaching of the Dialethism. You don't really want to be having to conform to a consensus opinion of a Dialethiist. I hope not, anyway. Nobody had ever asked you to do that in this Discord server. But maybe in other Discord servers.
They think they can change the meaning of words, make up, down, make hot, cold, make, it's like, no, you can't. Things have established references, meanings, and everything means something. You can't change it at will. Sorry.
This is called objective reality. Very oppressive to some people.
Very depressing. They cannot handle it.
No.
So you can't really fault them. It's the model, you know? The model makes them say this crazy stuff.
It's just this arena. Because most people, like, you've really got to start thinking of the people outside this arena. There's not much left in this arena. Like, anybody that's obsessed over a model that's not real. Neither of the models that anybody imagines are actually real. Whereas there is a real. And to get involved with this arena is the problem, I think. That's what I've learned. If there's a philosophy to have throughout all of this, is that don't get involved with the model. Just live your life. It's not going to change. There's only one real globe. Now, if you want to find some truths out for yourself, then try and do that for yourself. Don't come in this arena. It's not going to help you in any way. I really don't think there is any help in this. There's just people are feeding off other people asking questions backwards and forwards, and they're learning new sophistry, learning ways how to, new ways to insult people.
I was just thinking something similar to that. It's like incestuous vampires. They're just feeding off of each other constantly. One model afflicted versus the other model afflicted versus the other model afflicted, all circling around, drawing blood from one another, sucking each other's blood, just incessantly.
Like they want to draw me in, though, right? Like,
yeah, they
Flat
do.
Earth Matt said the other day. He said, "If you think all horizontals are parallel, then you're a flat earther." It's like, no, it doesn't make me a flat earther. Just because you try and draw us in because of that. I'm not being drawn in. It's not flat. There is an objective reality that we can measure, and we use that, and we know it's not flat. So I'm not going to be pulled into any fucking ridiculous argument just because Flat Earth Math decides he wants me in part of this ridiculous arena. It's stupid.
Exactly.
Time to grow up.
Which we see all the time. I mean, Paige was having that conversation with Flat Earth Math on Friday, I think. And it always comes down to, it's there, you just can't see it. Verticals diverge. It's there, you just can't see it. You just can't measure it. It's always that way. And that is the lure into their nightmarish non-reality. While all the time saying that we're flat earthers for just looking at reality.
Yeah, well, you won't
good
have this
point.
angle to a curve. Right?
Yeah.
That makes you a flat earther if you don't want to accept the straight line not being a straight line.
Yes, if you can't do impossible thing, then you are good. But if you are trying to make things impossible, because of course measuring angle to a curve is logically impossible, which is proven and very easy to prove and to show and demonstrate. But still they insist that you can't do that. So it means that they are required to do miracles. And obviously we don't do miracles here.
Miracles by consensus.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, it's like stepping into an ulterior universe. When you step into this arena, it's like be prepared to leave all known physics aside. You will be introduced to some fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it's like, it literally is like talking to a load of crazy people, really. Well, like the moment you start engaging conversation about that model, they'll make anything up. It doesn't matter. And if you don't agree with them, then you'll become a flat earther, and that will give them more reason for them to be correct. because you're disagreeing with them.
Some of them have become so good at it that they can make up stuff on the fly. They'll catch an unsuspecting person, like yeah, it's amazing how they do it. On the fly sophistry.
We've been practicing it for years. Right? You think we've been in this for 4 years? We've been doing however many videos, 1,000 videos. Some people have been in chat rooms 12, sometimes 24 hours a day, non-stop. They've never left. Yeah, they're the ones that say that, you know, you're obsessed whenever you go over there. They're all over the place, literally.
Strange how that works, right? Which is all the more reason that you, like you said at the beginning of the show, like, done with it. Just done with it. Right? Don't bother coming into the live chat or anything else and trying to play that foolish game. We're past that. As Bev said, we've done the learning. We've learned what we need to learn, and it's time to move on. Time to move on. This arena can offer nothing else.
Yeah, the only thing that we can give to this arena is to give them credibility to their arguments by just us saying things to them. Any engagement with these people, I consider, they end up with the imagination that you're engaging with their argument, which isn't even an argument, it's just insanity. So I personally...
I would agree with you guys. Sorry, Bev, I thought you were done.
No, I think there must be a bit of a delay. Go on.
I was going to say I would agree with you guys. Well, you're right, because there's no audience, right? So there's no value. But had there been an audience, had we not been censored, and hundreds of thousands and millions of people would hear these people and what they say, that would make a huge impact, right? But yeah, now as it stands, the same 50, 100 people, yeah, that's absolutely getting nowhere, like spinning on a treadmill.
Yeah, I think we've gone into a quiet patch where they're a bit ashamed to speak up because they know they've said some foolish things. They've been led into a position. They're trying to do the subversal to make it out that it's us. So, I mean, there's no point. We can make arguments. We already have. We can make videos. We've done a few of them. And we know how to have communication. I think we're in the best position. And I think the only thing we can do, really, is to find better ways to communicate. Now, we are going to be moving heavily into trivium. And this is, I think, where the teaching part comes in. This is teaching of the mind how to better communicate with each other, because that's where it's going to be at. There's AI, there's bots, there's text chat, and the only way that we're ever going to be able to communicate and show that we can actually communicate is for us to have these conversations. That's where it's going to be in the future. Text chat and all of that means nothing. Actual real life communication, because you can get these bots now that can write entire podcasts mimicking different people. So the only way you're ever really going to know is to actually come and have a conversation for yourself. And it's not, we are not what you imagine from all of those other servers. We have been, because we've been dealing with these crazy people. Well, those conversations, I think, are in the thing of the past. We've learned how to communicate and to talk about things. get our arguments together. The demonstrations are going to be coming. They're going to be getting better, and I'm going to be doing them in the Discord. So most of the stuff we have been doing has been occurring in Discord. If you want to come and get involved with it, I'm going to be hopefully giving a glimpse of it in doing videos. I'll do the making of videos and all that sort of stuff coming up. So there may be a time switch from when we go live and when we do things. Hopefully bring Emma into it a bit more. We're going to be making videos a lot more, so most of the work will be done during the daytime. So if you want to come and get involved, it's all going to be done in the Discord, and mainly if we do some live stuff during the day, we may not be coming live during the evening. It depends what people want to talk about and what we've got going on. I think in the future, these regular things, I'd like to keep it regular, but I don't want to be the one talking all the time. We need to find some way to get the trivium going so people can be doing more communication. It's sometimes some people don't like doing the live stuff, which is fine. Like, nobody has to talk out in live. So for that reason, I'd like us to be able to do a lot more in Discord, because I really do like to hear people. Most of the arguments and the things that we've done as a conglomerative sort of thing, that everybody has a piece of it, and they are some of the best stuff that we do, and that comes from conversations that we have within Discord. I'd like to get more of that, because I want to make more of these shorter videos, getting the point across. Advanced simplicity is what we've been working on, what we've made. That's what we use to help us understand things, is breaking things down to the simplest as you can. Try and break it down to first principles and then build up from there to what we do know, and then we can be sure of that. Obviously, the stuff that we do is pretty simple. When your main argument involves a straight line, you know that it's not going to be that difficult, right? There's nothing some university professor could tell you about a straight line that you can't really work out for yourself. And that's the sort of arguments that we like to bring. The use of the straight line. We did have some pretty good arguments the other day. There was some good stuff coming out. I can't remember what they were, though, exactly. Right, is everyone ready for another? Oh, God. Is that?
Well, I was going to say, can you imagine? Because every time I explain something to a regular person, like, gas and gravity and all that other stuff, but can you imagine going up to a person and telling them, next time you're at the beach, can you please get a hump of water, take a picture of it for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you possibly think in your brain that water can form a hump? Like, what experience have you ever had in your life that told you that water can form a hump? Like, it baffles my brain that, I don't know.
I've been trying to work out how to do that. I mean, it may work within conversation, in this arena, but I don't think you could ever approach anybody with that sort of a thing, just as a normie.
Yeah, but have you never seen a droplet of water on the table?
Yeah, yeah.
Come
But I
on.
did say the beat. Yeah.
I was just being pedantic. Sorry.
I think that's one of the things within, I keep saying this arena, I've never really been part of it, so I think of it as the arena that's taught me about people, you know, who are people that you can sort of have conversations
Hang on, I thought you were
with.
the ringleader. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought you were the boss around here.
You should know that I'm not the boss.
Again, sorry, I'm full of pedantic today. Sorry.
Emma's the boss. Don't tell anyone. I forgot what we were talking about there.
Good day, fellas.
Hey, Red.
Sorry, that's what happens when I jump in. What's up, Red Man?
Hey.
I'm
That's
gonna
why I was
stop jumping in.
That's why I was leading Kosho down the other night when I was in their SC and got derailed. Uh-oh.
What was that? Was that a...
Is that better?
Uh-oh.
Better now?
Yeah, I think so.
No, that's what I was telling SC. That's where I was leading Kosho down the other night, and then everything got derailed. But there's no need in talking to them dudes. Waste of time.
It's funny if you should mention being derailed, though, because that's what we're seeing, right? As soon as there's a real conversation to be had that doesn't, revolve, no pun intended, around this stupid arena, then someone always comes in to change it back to the shape of the earth nonsense. Have you ever noticed that? As soon as there's a conversation that's actually happening, a real conversation, but it doesn't really matter even what the topic is, someone's always there to bring it back to this stupid argument, non-argument of shape. It's amazing.
I think they're obsessed with it.
Go on,
Go ahead. I said I think they're just obsessed with it, and I don't understand if you're so secure with that, why even fool with us? Go on about your way. Something's uncomfortable in them.
Right. It's just the fact that everything seems to always go back to the model.
Because they want...
That's the trick, yeah.
They want this model to be real.
Any conversation about it just tries to reify it, doesn't it?
Yeah. They want that Santa Claus.
I think,
yes, and
yeah, it definitely is. I think they try to convince, if they can convince us, somehow it makes it right, I think, for them. I don't know. Kevin, we need Kevin for this one.
Yeah.
I've always said that my opinion is that they are weak in their faith because it is a religion. So they have to be in this arena. They have to proclaim their faith. It's like going to church on Sundays and proclaiming your testimony every single Sunday. But they have to do it every single day. Right? Because the fact of the matter is reality, right? Reality is reality. You go outside and you're putting together a deck or whatever, you're going to use a spirit level. And that spirit level, when it's level, is going to be in the horizontal position. So just looking at reality the way reality is reinforces the idea that you have to have, if you're going to go against that, you have to proclaim it with your tongue constantly, because otherwise you lose the monad, right? The monad, the center. You lose that,
So by
and that is the God for
preaching,
these people. Yeah,
by preaching it, you keep it alive type deal.
absolutely. And you're able to give that paralogism to someone else, to other people. And when we found these
Right.
words, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like what Bev said, right? It all fits. You find these words, dialethism, paralogism, right? Bulverism that Saragaki brought the other day. It's like you find these words and it's like it fits these people because no one's having these conversations outside of this little band of weirdos on the internet.
Yeah, the band of weirdos. Yeah, that's exactly it. Band of weirdos living in La La Land, living in a fantasy place. Well, it's really not their fault. I keep saying that, right? That's what That's what the model says. So they're going by the monad. They're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're it's what the scriptures say, right? You think of it in terms, if you think of it in terms of religion, it really does fit. It's what the scriptures say, it's what the scriptures tell them. So they must confess that as their faith. And so they do that. And the more they do that, the more faith you have. Ask anyone who has a faith, not the kind I'm describing with these people, but like a real faith. Like I'm a Christian. I consider myself a Christian. The more I delve into that and the more I proclaim those things with my tongue, in other words, if I go to Bible studies and I go to church 3-4 days a week, right? It enhances my faith. It can't not enhance it, right? It is human behavior. The more you're into these things, the longer you're into these things, the more it becomes part of your daily life, the more it's going to reinforce it in your mind. That's why the idea of reality is so abhorrent to these people.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. They want to stay in that space where they can have their monad, where they can have their sphere, where they can have their contradictions, their paradoxes. Yeah, makes
Yeah,
perfect
exactly.
sense.
Now they'll try to project that on us, but the difference is, as Bev has said many times, we have a proof. He's had a proof. They did it in reality for themselves. Each of us, in our own way, have proven it to ourselves. We have the ability to have proofs. We know what proofs are. We have logic. They they readily admit that they have no proofs. There's only, quote, evidence. There are no proofs in reality. There can be no proofs in
Indeed.
reality.
Yeah,
Damn,
it's really
Kevin.
sad. It's really sad.
Preach on, brother. Preach on.
It's easy
I
stuff,
believe.
right? Right, exactly. I believe. Yeah, and then you see the reaction of like fight the flat Earth when Bev was playing those early videos. The anger comes out, right? Because he's evangelizing and he's got his followers, and they're getting angry and he gets angry, and that's another difference between us. Again, they'll try to project and say it's the same thing here, but we don't get angry. Never. We're not raising our voices. We're not yelling at people. We're not doing any of that. And if we are, then we need to, whoever it is, we need to think about what we're doing ourselves, because we don't need to. When someone has a proof of something for themselves, they're at ataraxia. That's another word we learned, right? Epohe. We've got epohe. We've reached ataraxia, that place of peace. Like, yeah, we're cool. Reality is reality. You say you're looking at the entirety of the realm upon which we live as X. Globe, flat Earth, pizza Earth, dome Earth. I mean, I don't know, whatever your model says it is. We're just like, I walk outside, I see reality. I work with my hands. I work in reality. Spot on builds a wall. He builds it in reality. I mean, what's the big deal? Apparently, it's a very big deal to some people.
Kevin, of all the words we learned, maybe you might agree with this one. Of course, logic up there, right? But I would say for mental stability, I think the most important word is epoche.
Epoche, yep.
The ability to reserve judgment, like, yeah. What do you think?
Absolutely. To not have to come down on one side of the fence or the other because you can't know. You don't know, you can't know. So you just reserve judgment and say, hey, until I know for sure, until I can actually have real proof, then epoche. But there's many things that you can have proof of that do not require epoche. You can come down on one side of the fence or the other. But this band of weirdos on the internet call you a flat earther if you have any of those proofs, right? It's the weirdest thing.
If you believe level and horizontal, you're a flat earther.
Yep. Simple as that.
Or that horizontals are parallel.
Yeah.
Which brings the argument into it a lot more, right? If there's one argument that you could make about horizontals being parallel, is that all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, right? But flat earth math says that's flat earth. The one thing that everyone can prove to themselves in reality whenever they want is the thing that flat earth math can't have anybody talking about.
This is
You make it up on the fly, bro. I was told the other day that level is horizontal at a point, but if you step 1 inch to the left or to the right or whatever, any direction, level decouples from horizontal.
I would say that flat earth math said lately that it is at every molecule, so not inch anymore.
Yeah, molecule. Exactly,
So
paper.
it is just any point. Any point. The closest point to this vertical would be not vertical, or diverging, or tilting, or whatever. This is
It could be both, it could be either. Yeah.
Yes, this is what says our faithful mathematician. So we have proofless logician and faithful mathematician.
Yeah, this is where the conversation has gone. We have got them to say that there's only level and horizontal at one single point. You cannot have a plane. Well, they say you can have a plane, and then in the same breath they say, well, no, you can't. It's only at a point.
It brought them to the point of gaslighting, and that's not good for anyone. No one. Because they're going to do their gaslighting. Just now, they're gaslighting about provable facts of reality. They're having to gaslight people about that. Which I personally, I don't want to be part of that. I feel like I have been part of it, helping them develop this argument or whatever it is. It's not really, but when I feel like we've helped them come to this position now where they're literally gaslighting people.
I would say that they would do that anyway. So maybe in less sophisticated manner, but I would say that what we are doing here is good because they are making in order to rebut our position, they are making more ridiculous mistakes, and they are showing these mistakes here, for example.
Proof through reductio ad absurdum.
Yeah. They are showing contradictions, they are showing their double speaking. So I would say that this is they are exposing themselves. So
or is that normalizing it?
For them, yes, because this is our modern society. Let's say that people are learning by repeating. So they, for example, for 1 year, that would be scandal to say that level is horizontal. That is not horizontal, but after 10 years, maybe people will get used to that level is not horizontal, for example. But this is not our fault if we are fighting for the truth. I would say that it would be more easy to make people believe such stupid things. But anyway, majority of people are not willing to think. So I would say that we cannot save majority from, let's say, being silly or stupid even. We cannot do that because in order to improve yourself, you have to start to think. And this is just some kind of effort you have to make. And many people just don't want to do that because are too lazy, for example.
Well, hopefully we can get the advanced simplicity working to make these statements. I mean, I did it a bit earlier. I was, we quite often we do engage with them on the YouTube and in the chat. And just recently we've had a group of people, mainly led by Blue Marble and Betty and Stefan Mudd and, the people that most people have heard of. And their idea of communication is just basically to misrepresent anything that you say. It's very strange. Any sort of engagement with them, they will misrepresent anything that you said and tie you up in some sort of sophisticated, no, I didn't say that, this is what I said, and repetition of stuff rather than you progressing anywhere into any argument.
Yes, this is their tactic. Yeah, I understand that, and I know that they are doing that, and they will be doing that because this is, if they have no argument, this is only this obfuscation and wasting time tactic, just to talk for an hour, for example, about anything or nothing. Instead of addressing argument, because they cannot address argument, so they have ready tactic like obfuscation, misrepresenting, etc. So this is their tactic. Yes, for example, I am prepared for that, so I know that method. It is very, very annoying for opponent in discussion, but yes, that's them. They are doing that, and they will be doing that in the future.
Yeah, and I would also like to add about the imposter faker that we do have within making accounts and coming in here. So we do ask now that people do try and identify themselves, and then we can give them a real role, so we aren't forced to think that they might be somebody impersonating them. Seems to be a lot of it going around. Don't know how long it's been going on. Obviously, there's what we're after is communication. And communication that leads somewhere too. We're not interested in these circular arguments that have just gone on and on and on, and they go round and round and round. Not really bothered about them anymore. We're trying to get to the bottom of. Well, I am. I'm trying to get to the bottom of understanding people to help us progress. Really, the channel's about communication. It's about thinking and trying to get people to think. I don't believe that people put enough effort into thought. Modern day, it has been revealed to us about a certain time where there was a switch in the thinking of people, 1600s or whatever. Baconism, and I think
Beautiful.
Who is that?
Baconism? What's baconism?
Wow, you don't know about bacon?
Well, I mean, I had some bacon for breakfast this morning, but I think that's something different.
Francis Bacon, so-called philosopher in 16th
Oh, okay.
He was
and
the guy.
what were his highlights?
He was trying to write new organon instead of Aristotle's organon, to rewrite this, generally to rewrite a new logic. So because Aristotle's logic was too oppressive for him, so he wanted to just change logic into something else.
Yeah, I think he's classed as the father of modern science. And when you think of modern science, you're talking about the one that profit-based, not knowledge-based.
Can I interrupt one more time? I'm
He
really
was
sorry.
a politician. He was a politician as well.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
I might have to look this guy up.
Yeah.
Is that unorthodox in here?
50.
No.
50. Unorthodox.
No, this is Richard.
Okay. All right, Dick. Good to have you. Thanks for being here. Glad to see you haven't disappeared.
No, I disappear for a little while, then I show up. I'm like a ghost, you know. But yeah, it's probably been a year.
It's funny that you show up here today because I was actually watching Nathan Oakley's show this morning and he was looking for you.
Oh yeah, I popped in there for a second, and they were like, "Is that 50? Fucking asshole! Fucking blah blah blah." I didn't say anything. They figured it out after a while, but I dipped out. It was hard to find their Discord server. Fucking after I lost it,
They got it banned. It's a new one.
they got it banned. It's the same icon.
Yeah, no, the other one got took down.
What time is their show? Does anybody know what time their show is, or what their show dates are?
2 p.m. UK. I don't know what that is where you are.
2 p.m. UK. Lord, that'd probably be like 2 a.m. or something.
Not 12 hours, are you?
I'll tell you one second.
Okay, I am off to bed. Good night. Thank you very much.
See you later. Thank you, Paper.
See you, Paper. Fuck. Right as he leaves. Tell him he's got to give me 10.
So, what are you back for, 50? What's the idea? You realise this is my 1000th video. $1,000 videos. Live on YouTube. 1,000 of them live. But how would you reckon if we have a debate with Fight the Flat Earth? What do you reckon? Would you talk to violent criminals that get angry about words people say? I don't know whether it's fair, really, because I know I'll just make him angry.
I'm just honestly impressed they're still at it, to be honest with you.
Who, Fight the Flat Earth?
Kudos to them, huh?
Fight the Flat Earth?
No, Nathan.
What about Fight the Flat Earth? Are you impressed that he's still going?
Well, Nathan's been going on a few more years longer than him, so not necessarily.
Well, have you heard about his recent one where he beat up his neighbour?
I have not. I thought he was crippled.
Yeah, that's what makes it even funnier. He was out watering the plants, and a neighbour in Scotland said something to him. So he got enraged and he went out and beat the guy up, smashed his head off the concrete.
Did he?
Yeah.
Damn.
He did a thing with Ranty. He did like a thing, and he got his court costs all paid for him 3 times over. So he made some coin for doing that.
He did. What do you mean he did a thing with Ranty? What do you mean, like he kicked his ass? Or he tried to kick his ass?
No, like once he'd been convicted of it, right? He went and did a show with Ranty. He went live and did a show about it.
Really?
Yeah, he made loads of fucking money. The most money he'd ever made was on that show because he paid his court costs and everything. He made money from it.
For beating up his neighbor?
Made money from criminal activity, yeah, on YouTube live.
For beating up his neighbor?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Man, I wonder if I could do that.
Ooh. Seems quite profitable. Like he can go around telling people he's like he's a fighter.
He's a vigilante.
Yeah.
He's like Batman.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know whether his neighbour was actually a flat earther, because then he could have got like 2 for 1, couldn't he? He could have actually been fighting a flat earther, kicking shit out of him.
I doubt that. That'd be hilarious, though.
He was talking about it, right? You'd have loved it, 50. He was talking about the encounter, right? And there's a particular scene in is it Guardians of the now? In the Avengers movie. And he put himself as the Hulk. Yeah, it's in that scene with Hulk grabs hold of Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he described himself beating up this neighbor.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's got a bit of an inflated ego, that's for sure.
Well, his audience were impressed. Ranty's come back, and he's doing a documentary about it as an everything. Ranty. He's a documentary maker.
Oh wait, did Ranty flip? Is he a globe earther now?
Yeah, he's Fight the Flat Earth's mate. Yeah.
Oh wow.
How long have you been away?
A long time.
Wow. Yeah, well, you know that Ranty didn't flip anywhere. Ranty was always part of the fucking team, wasn't he?
No, not that I remember. Not that I remember.
On. Are you not part of the script?
I'm not part of the script, no. I did not know that. That's news
Wait
to
a
me.
minute, you don't think that this arena's real, do you? Don't think there's any sort of an actual argument?
Yeah, I think there's some real players. I think you know, I know.
Go on, name a real player in this arena.
I think Nathan's a real player. I just think he's kind of dumb. I think you're a real player.
I'm not playing. I'm not in this arena.
I mean, hell, you even got T-shirts.
Yeah, try thinking.
Yeah. But, I hope you're able to. Hope you're at least able to make some money off those, not lose money.
It's not about making money.
Do you think? Do you think over the past? Do you think y'all have had a positive impact on flat Earth over the past 5 to 10 years, or do you think it's been negative?
Who, me, or you?
The community on YouTube.
I think the flat Earth community is fragmented all over the place. There's as many flat earthers and flat Earths as there are globe earthers.
I agree,
and
Bev.
Globe Earths.
True.
Because I don't think I agree with most of them on a lot of things. Yet I identify as one.
Yeah, I mean, but if y'all could come together a little bit.
Do you mean y'all? You mean, are you talking about the globe earthers?
No, I'm just saying that the bigger the community, the more cohesive the community, the better outreach you have, and the better your message can get out.
We haven't got a message. It's just reality. Nobody needs to know about reality.
Yeah, straight lines are straight lines. We don't need to say they're anything but.
Oh, come on.
I want to stop people coming into this arena. If anything, it's filled with really crazy people. You're never going to learn anything.
Wait, Bev. The internet as a whole is filled with crazy fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that. No matter where you go on the internet, no matter what channel, you can go onto 100 different channels about 100 different topics, and you're gonna find people like globe earthers that want to just say shitty things in that channel just to be shitty on no matter the subject.
True. I think Fight the Flat Earth has let all this go to his head, because I saw him one time and it's just like he was smoking weed or something. He was like, what do you say? He's like something about oh, just forget about it. Smoking weed's cool. I'm cool or some shit. It was just so cringy. He thought he was cool for smoking weed on camera.
Wow.
Letting it go to his head just a little bit.
What do you think about me debating him?
I did not see that. Is it on his channel?
No, it's somebody wants to set a debate up.
Oh, sure. Go debate him. Sure, go ahead. I'd watch it. You better have your shit together, because I mean, as douchey as he is, he knows his stuff.
He knows what stuff?
Well, he knows the glove model.
He knows all the shadow giants. He knows all the shadow giants scriptures.
Yep.
He knows fuck all about reality, right?
Well, the celestial navigation stuff is kind of hard to argue with, but that's a whole nother topic.
It's hard to argue with. I bet you can't even make up an argument.
But I can't even make up an argument. Hassan, I got a list of like 23 arguments.
For the He said 23. You know, you can't make an argument for celestial navigation, can you?
Sure, I could.
Wow.
I mean, really not that hard. I mean, how about this? The history of navigation is the history of knowing the Earth is a globe. That's what there was a literal expedition that was commissioned to develop to define the radius or measure the radius so that they could set up the latitude and
You can't
longitude line.
measure a radius. That's impossible. It's another one of the impossible things that people just claim.
Why can't you
impossible claims? Because you need to get to the center, don't you, to be able to measure?
Yeah, you need to
radius.
dig a 4,000 mile or so hole. You think you could do that when they only gone 8 miles?
And how would you know you were in the center? I mean,
yeah. And how would you get that? Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna shut up now.
No. If you get the circumference, you can. No, if you get the circumference,
you can't get the circumference. You can't measure the circumference either. That's another problem, isn't it? Don't jump out the frying pan and into the fire by just naming another impossibility.
Why don't you think you could name the measure the circumference?
Because you cannot measure the circumference. You do know the act of measuring, how that works.
No, please inform me.
You have to have a start point and an end point in order for you to have the ability to measure.
Yes.
And then we have one saying that you can do fuck all with an angle. So you can't do anything by measuring an angle. I mean, you couldn't say, oh, I measured the circumference by measuring a 360-degree angle. Like, that wouldn't really work, because that's not measuring the circumference, is it? So how would you imagine? No, that's a really bit of a thing. I'd rather say again, you just cannot. It is impossible for you to be able to measure the circumference.
What about modern day tech? A flight.
Flight?
Yeah, flight.
As in an aeroplane?
No, a freaking kite. Yes, an airplane.
Well, you realise you can't measure things with airplanes. It's not a measurement device.
You can put a measurement device on an airplane. What do you think they get from point A to point B without measuring the distance? You think they just guess at it?
You do already know where they're going, right? You don't imagine that they've measured it with airplanes, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I imagine. Well, they use GPS, which can be used to measure things. And that's what GPS was set up to measure, to locate and measure.
3D Euclidean coordinates GPS, right?
And you might have seen they have these stones set up that are essentially datum points across England or any country really. Where
what's that got to do with aeroplanes?
Well, I'm just saying that's kind of the proof of the pudding, that they went through all this trouble to find these datums or to mount these datums so that they could then scrap
mount them.
Yeah, they're like it's kind of like a stone pillar. Usually pretty low. They're usually pretty close to the Earth, but they might be different in different countries.
Pretty close to the Earth, like on the land. You mean?
Yeah, like
not up in the air.
Yeah, the one around me is like a foot tall. from the surface of the Earth. I don't know. In England, they might be 10 feet tall. I don't know.
You don't really know anything about this, do you? You've not been away for training, have you?
You've never heard of these?
Benchmarks.
The benchmarks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what they're called exactly. That might be the technical term. I kind of doubt it though, but they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Hold up. I mean, I could look it up and tell you, but
Yeah, they're not for aeroplanes, are they? Because I do believe that you were talking about aeroplanes measuring a circumference.
Well,
now
they
you've
are
come down to benchmarks on the land.
well, they are in the sense that they use them via GPS to determine location.
They know where they are. You don't need to use GPS if you've got a benchmark. Mobius is saying he's just checking. Are you a civil engineer? Or did you once pretend to be a civil engineer?
No, I've got a bit of a mechanical engineering background.
Mechanical engineer.
But I switched careers. I'm now a telecommunications engineer.
I bet you've done many things, haven't you? In your time.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of cross talk, I guess you'd call it, in engineering. If you know the foundations, you can kind of go this way, that way.
And where are you on the straight line thing?
What do you mean?
Are you with like the flat Earth and flat Earth math about the differing terms of straight? There's a secret straight that dogmatic globe earthers are taught about. Have you heard?
I've never heard that one.
No, the circle straight.
Are circles straight?
Yeah, have you never heard of the other?
I'd have to say
the people that know about the globe. You know about the globe, right?
I do. I'd have to say circle.
You must have got the memo then about the other straight.
I haven't.
Oh, that might be a bit awkward.
Fill me in. How is a circle straight?
It's a different straight that you get taught about, right? So since we know what straight is, the different must be different, obviously. So it's dead easy to imagine different than straight, isn't it? And
you're losing.
That's the new globe. Straight. That when you're actually talking about straight, now we've been let in on the thing with flat Earth math. We know that you're not actually talking about straight. You're talking about this new globe straight.
You talking about like on the surface of the Earth, like a latitude or longitude line?
Well, they're perpendicular to each other, aren't they?
Do what?
The longitude and latitude, they're perpendicular to each other.
They are, but if you place one,
I'm not talking about that. We're talking about on say like a ball. That's straight. I think something like that.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
No, we were going over it earlier. Fight the flat Earth. And flat Earth math. It's really weird that they're both like got flat Earth in the name, isn't it? And they want to talk about straight lines not being straight. I suppose it's what you'd expect really from flat earthers.
Sure. Just kind of popping in to see how the community is doing. I'm glad you got a bunch of people in here.
The on the level community seems to be doing all right.
Yeah, definitely keep that going.
Yeah, we sort of add enough of the 1,000 videos, add enough of the ridiculous conversation that's been going on for ages, right? Probably the reason why you left for about a year and a half, or however long it was, you went away. Because nothing's changed, has it?
It doesn't seem to have so far. I've only been back like 2 or 3 days, so I haven't checked that too much, but it still seems like the same old, same old. Although I would be interested in, I don't know, seeing some of these live shows like Nathan's, see if they've progressed any whatsoever, see if they're doing the same old shtick, where they just kind of steamroll everybody.
Well, he's done a couple of videos just recently about me, so I don't know what.
Are y'all beefing?
I haven't got a clue. I mean, Nathan's obviously got to drum up drama, hasn't he? Flat Earth is ridiculous,
Sure.
especially of all of the ridiculous flat Earth, groups.
We need to get our ratings up.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most ridiculous things, that the way Nathan decides to talk to people. I've never listened to him for ages, right? But I heard him the other day talking to Matthew Learns. It was embarrassing. I can't imagine why anybody would ever want to go over there and talk to him.
Just to have a laugh, have a goof.
Yeah, but you waiting to hear what he talks like. If you want to attempt it, I mean, have a go. See if it works.
It might, but I probably won't last long.
Well, I don't know. Like, he has done there's a couple of members only that are about me. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see when he puts them out. What exactly he was talking about. He might not even do that. He might keep them all members only. He might, he might just be doing his bitching behind the thing. So anybody who subscribes to him gets to see all of the drama and the bitchy stuff, and nobody else ever gets to hear about it. He could be doing it for about everybody.
Yeah, you have to subscribe, but it doesn't cost any money. You just have to be like part of his channel.
No. These are members only. You've got to be a member in order to watch them.
Oh, ew.
He's done some specials.
I haven't heard anything lately.
No, it was about last week, sometime, I think, when he did it. So yeah, I don't know. I'll wait and see what they are, and see whether he's worth having a beef. I think he had some sort of an idea about the angle. I think he got upset.
Have you seen this video of this? He's a geodetic surveyor, and he uses two theodolites across from a lake, and he tries to, he levels them, auto levels them, whatever you want to call it, and then he tries to, point one at the other, and it appears not to work. It appears like, dare I say, the ground's curved underneath them, where they can't get a bead up. Yeah, across a lake.
Optics.
It's a pretty short lake too.
A short lake.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, thousands of feet long. It's a few hundred feet. Because I remember you were trying to do something similar with auto levels.
Oh, the rumpus pole. Reciprocal rumpus pole sightings at Bedford.
I guess so. Did you ever do that?
No. We will though.
Oh.
I will. Part of the argument series. It's going to be the reductio ad absurdum. Argument.
Yeah, I'll have to find that geodetic surveying video and maybe bring it back sometime. But I've got some dad things to attend to. Nice talking to y'all.
All
I will
right.
see y'all. I'll see y'all around later, fellas.
See you later. Right.
I love it. The community.
I know. They seriously want us to be part of their community. And I keep having to say, it's a little bit ridiculous. I don't want to be.
It's like asking to be part of the insane asylum.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm not that obsessed, to be honest. I think I can do without it. And I know we've got much better things to do. I was quite impressed with myself reading that book today. There is loads. I keep forgetting about it because, it's just information, isn't it? But yeah, it's definitely going to be worth going over that. The abolition of man. And he's right. He's right. That's the sort of person. They're the sort of conversations that I think I want to start having. I mean, everybody knows the weird shit's gone on in the past. Education might be a little bit not what you were taught. Right. I think it's time I ended it. Don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Tuesday. What was Tuesday? I literally haven't got a clue what we're going to be doing from now on. It's all changed though. So come on into the Discord. We will be developing some arguments. There are a group of boomers that are attempting sophistry in a very strange way that it needs to be studied to conclusion. So we will still be doing that, but I think I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit, just because it's fun. I've got a long video here, so I think you guys still on the YouTube thing.
I'm going back to YouTube right now. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Right, so this one is you don't understand shortest distance. I don't know. I think this was the one that was attempted to be took down. But hey, let's relive some memories. And we'll be back tomorrow. There'll be a lot more of this sort of stuff, hopefully. Obviously, it's changing and the arguments are going to be stronger. So, see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you very much, chat. Especially for the donations. Thank you very much. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. 8 o'clock, usual time.
But, you know, even if we didn't have R, the Great Circle would still be the shortest distance across the surface of the Earth, because the Earth is a sphere.
But Rakia, here's the problem that I think you're having. You see my smiling face? Is if the Earth was flat and I drew the triangle out, that triangular leg between Florida and Michigan would say,
because the Earth is a sphere.
1,050 miles.
I did that. I cut
the great 100 distance between those 2 points was 900 miles. If I drove 950 miles,
because the Earth is a sphere.
Is it possible for me to have done that on a flat Earth? Where did the extra 100 miles come from? You see my smiling face? Yeah, how did I cut 100 miles?
100 straight line. Because the Earth is a sphere.
Is that possible?
You're asking me if it's possible to do something on a sphere and on a flat plane and be the same distance? No, it wouldn't be possible. Doesn't mean your calculation.
Are you seriously going to ask me that after I just spent 20 minutes going through it in great detail exactly what I did? Is it possible for me to have done that on a flat Earth?
You don't understand.
You see my smiling face? Don't go there.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You just
Rakia, how do you shave 100 miles off a straight line?
Because the Earth is a sphere.
On a flat surface. Just please answer the question. I drove the distance.
No, you
100. My odometer said 100 miles less than the straight line distance. It was 50 miles more than the Great Circle distance. Can I make a trip that is a straight line distance of 1,050 miles? Can I make that trip in 950 miles? Is it possible? Can I make a trip 100 a straight line distance of 1,050 miles? Can I make that trip? You see my smiling face? 950 miles. Is it possible?
Stop. Come on, guys.
Stop.
Come on, guys.
Now, don't say cool story. That's an insult. Don't go there.
You don't understand. It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
So yeah, I did it. And I 100 took out a number of different variables. I'm very confident, and I came up with a very similar radius of the Earth, which was similar to the radius of the Earth I got from doing the Eratosthenes experiment with blue and deep ultraviolet. So I have effectively ruled out the possibility that there's been a flat Earth between the two. Do you see why? Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, that is how you crush the flat Earth. That is how you crush the flat Earth. My work here is done. That's the way science is done. You see my smiling face? I did it multiple times, 100 under multiple conditions, and got the same thing. It ruled out the ability of the Earth to be flat. You see my smiling face?
Because the Earth is a sphere.
Don't go there.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own. No reason, no logic, no wisdom, no worries. You're just on your own. No reason, no logic, no answers to questions. You're just on your own.
If you have the actual distance, you divide that by 2 and divide it by the average side. That gives you the radius of the Earth. And guess what? I hit the radius of the Earth within 20 miles. And I've got the video to prove it.
Because the Earth is a sphere.
Can I make a trip that is a straight line distance of 1,050 miles? Can I make that trip in 950 miles? Is it possible? Is it possible for me to have done that on a flat Earth? Where did the extra 100 miles come from? You know, how did I cut 100 miles off on a straight line? 100? Is that possible? So yeah, I did it. And I took out a number of different variables. I'm very confident, and I came up with a very similar radius of the Earth, which was similar to the radius of the Earth I got from doing the Eratosthenes experiment with blue and b-ball for life. Because you apparently need to be taught some manners. Don't go there. Don't say cool story.
Manners not to tell other men how to speak.
If you have a problem with my mathematics, tell me what your problem is.
See my smile face?
It ruled out the ability of the Earth to be flat. Don't you insult me by saying cool story.
You don't understand.
Because the Earth is a sphere.
You don't understand.
Don't go there.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Don't go there. Can I make a trip that is a straight line distance of 1,050 miles? Can I make that trip in 950 miles? Is it possible?
No, you didn't do that, and no, it wouldn't be possible in reality in your car.
It would not be possible.
You see my smile face?
You're not a man. You're not a man.
Because the Earth is a sphere.
Now, don't say cool story, that's an insult. If you have a problem with my mathematics, tell me what your problem is. Don't go there.
You don't understand. It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Do you agree that you cannot go less than the minimum straight line distance between those 2 points on a flat Earth?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, great. I did that. Don't go there. I cut one distances in both cases, even though I went over curves and up and down hills, was less than the amount of distance it would have been required had it been a smooth, flat, planar surface. It ruled out the ability of the Earth to be flat. That's the way science is done.
You see my smile face?
I did it multiple times under multiple conditions and got the same thing. It ruled out the ability of the Earth to be flat. You didn't listen. I told you very my distances in both cases, even though I went over curves and up and down hills, was less than the amount of distance it would have been required had it been a smooth, flat, planar surface. Smooth, flat, planar surface.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
My assertion is that a great circle is the shortest distance between any 2 points on Earth.
No reason, no logic, no wisdom, no worry.
Pontification's done.
You're just on your own. No reason.
can I cut 100 miles off a straight line trip? Rakia, is it possible for me to shave 100 miles off a straight line distance on a flat surface? Do you agree that you cannot go less than the minimum straight line distance between those 2 points on a flat earth?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, great. I did that. I cut 100 miles. Absolutely correct. I could do the straight line course.
But, you know, even if we didn't have R, the Great Circle would still be the shortest distance across the surface of the Earth, because the Earth is a sphere.
I'm trying to learn to smile more, if it kills me.